it's over. Do you need anything like I need you? I've got no place to be. want to change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't want to hang around. It gets better.
Fucking go, baby.
My pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. Hey,
Let's go.
I just want to change the world, but
I'm not gonna wait my turn.
I don't ever want to come
Page,
down.
let's go.
It gets better.
I wonder my pleasure together. Pendulous, let's go, Pittsburgh, baby.
Anticipating you.
Let's go. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My world. Shenky Weeger on Jubilee. We're witnessing the fall of TYT. Oh, can't pretend. No, 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 no. Shenky Weeger hit the bitter end. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand. I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. You're radiant. Oh, Cenk! Oh, what did you do with my neck? Oh, Cenk, what did you do with my neck? Dude! Oh, Shenky Weeger! You will never be alone again. Shenky Weeger, you will always be alone again. 'Cause Polymarket is your friend. Your heart's gone AWOL for a paycheck. Dude, oh shit. That was a little ad lib there. Oh shit. And she just don't understand, because she hates all of her friends. Your heart's gone AWOL from the paycheck. Oh shit, dude. Oh my God, bro. Oh, dude, that is funny. Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy on my fucking Turkish soul. Heaven to Betsy, as my mom used to say. Oh, Lord. Dude, that's funny, bro. A little chorus of Shenky, radiant, fucking Weeger. All right, so here's the scoop, guys. I think maybe if we have time, there might be a couple pieces of news that I might also want to cover. So we're gonna start with the Shenk Weeger. Okay, we're gonna do the Shenky on Jubilee. All right, we're gonna watch this thing. We're going to commentate this thing until like I can't hack it anymore. And then if I do decide to do some other shit, we will reset the stream, okay? And we'll do a quick reset for the other pieces, okay? There were a couple other things that I feel like were noteworthy. I mean, obviously the Texas Democrats thing, right? In particular, like, I mean, just real quick, we're not going to talk about it in full, but this Jesse Waters thing, like, dude, Fox News is so disingenuous because they're on a campaign, right? It's this, right? They're on this campaign here, obviously, because the Democrats are like breaking the quorum, okay? And this is not new. I mean, Republicans in Oregon did this quorum breaking shit. They did it so much, though, that we actually passed laws that basically said if you don't come to work for more than 10 days, you can't run for re-election. So we actually passed laws to prevent the Republicans from breaking quorum because they were doing it on everything, right? And now Texas is freaking out. But so they fucking... They're like Jesse Waters on his show on Fox is running a big thing about this district in Texas. But what's crazy about it is the Republicans created this fucking district. Okay, this district was made by Republicans to pack all of the Democratic voters, all of the voters of color into one district, right? But what's wild about this is how they are like he's being like, look what the Dems did to this map, right? When in fact, what the Republicans did was they took the people of color in Austin, the people of color in San Antonio, and they held them together by a thread of white area in between and created a district that usurped the minority vote in both towns, dude, and to pack them into a single district. And this is what Republicans have been doing, like, for craziness with their maps. But yeah, man, that's outrageous, dude, isn't it? I mean, to me, dude, that kind of gerrymandering, this shit just pisses me off. And listen to what he says, dude. Fuck it. While we're here, we're just gonna do this. But let's listen to this.
And look at one of the Texas districts that Democrats are running away from. They basically drew a highway between Houston and Austin. Even the media is calling them hypocrites. And
yeah, it's San Antonio and Austin, and the Republicans drew it. Okay, the Republicans drew that district. That is what is fucking crazy about this. Republicans drew this district. Okay, you can see it in here. Texas Republicans drew that district to sink as many Dem voters into it as possible to protect surrounding GOP districts as they started to lose the Austin suburbs. Because that's what happens, guys, is the only districts that are red are the ones that are all white people, right? Rural. Nobody fucking lives there. There's no industry. They can't pay for their roads. They can't pay for shit. Those are the Republican districts. The minute people move in and make it a city, it becomes Democratic, of course, because diverse people want a party of diversity, and they want laws that reflect diversity and protect the diversity. You know what I'm saying? And the reality is Republicans can't handle the truth of that. They literally like do everything they can. All they want is power so they can then force us to live under their bullshit, jerk off, biblical, fake ass fantasy shit. Okay? It's like, fuck off, bro. Stick the Bible right up your ass. Okay? Unless you're using that Bible to do a colonoscopy, I don't want to fucking hear a thing about it. All right? Keep that shit out of government. But yeah, dude, this is insane. Okay? This is insane. But I do love the fact that the Texas Democrats have fucked them over, bro. They fucked them over. Oh, shit. Oh, Lord have mercy, dude. They are reeling. Dude, and Greg Abbott, you see Greg Abbott, he's like, oh, I'm going to arrest everybody. Bribery charges. Oh, arrest warrants. What a fucking clown. Do you see what I said, though? This is probably poor taste, but this fucking tweet, I think right here is the money, dude. Where is it? It's this one. Dude, I said Texas Dems can definitely outrun this guy. Dude, I know that's kind of cold. I didn't mean it in an attack on people with disabilities. I meant it in just an attack on Greg Abbott. But, you know, he's getting all threatening arrest, and we're coming after you. And I'm pretty sure the Texas Dems can outrun that guy, dude, without a doubt. All right, dude, I know, dude. He's just fucking, this guy is such a fucker. Dude, I don't know why he has to be so thankless. I don't know why these Republicans are so thankless. Like, you know, because a lot of these Republican legislators literally grew up getting welfare help. They grew up getting state-funded health care. You know, many of them came out of poverty. And then as soon as they get up there, they just fuck around and fuck everybody up. And the other one is this one, dude. Look at this. Did you see this photo, right, from the real Thelma Johnson with Trump and her and Laura Loomer at Mar-a-Lago admiring the man who's going to bring fitness back to American schools? But did you see what I said, dude? Greatest comeback ever. I wonder what they're going to name the baby. Dude, it's true. Men really can give birth, dude. Oh, shit, bro. Dude, what are they going to name the baby? I mean, I hate to say it. Next time I see Riley Gaines doing something transphobic, I'm going to put that, like the birth of her kid, I'm going to put that under Riley Gaines' tweet announcing her kid's birth. Oh, dude, they're going to name the baby Smiley Gaines. Smiley Gaines Trump. Dude, they're going to name the kid Barron is definitely not gay Trump. Dude. Barron, I swear to you, is not gay Trump. Oh, Lord. Dude, let's go. Ghost pepper potato chip coming in hot, boss. Word to the wise, though. Don't eat fucking ghost pepper chips and then, you know what I'm saying? I did that once when I was young, dude. I made a meal with habaneros and I forgot to wash my hands, and then I went and took care of business, and then I was like, whoa! Dude, 5-alarm fire, brother. Holy shit. Bad call, dude. That habanero juice on your hands, dude. Telling you, it was a recipe for disaster. Do not do it. Okay? Do not do it, man. Or do it if you really just want to have an experience. You know, it's definitely an experience. Oh, the things you learn when you're a rock and roller. You don't want that pain? Yeah, no, it was fucking pretty wild, dude. It was a sensation of burning. Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. But yeah, I mean, there's neither good nor bad experiences. There's just experiences at the end of the day, right? Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, you guys ready? Are we ready? Yeah, no, I know you keep putting that in chat, Bradshaw. It's like the third time, but like, why are you putting that in there, boss? Why are you keep like relaying like every 45 seconds you copy and paste that and put it in chat? But like, what for? Are you making a point? Right? I thank you for letting us know about the Michigan Redistricting Commission. Because more states need to do it? Yeah, well, see, here, got you. Well, you know, the thing is, though, guys, is Democrats tried in 2021 to pass national legislation that would end gerrymandering. Okay, they did, dude. It was 2021, guys. Let me see if we can find a bit on it. Right? It was right here. It was the For the People Act. Okay? This was in 2021. All right? It was H.R. 1. Oh, yeah, the Freedom to Vote Act. And it would have expanded voting rights, changed campaign finance laws to reduce the money in politics, ban partisan gerrymandering, and create new ethics rules for federal office holders. Right? Every Democrat voted for H.R. 1. Every single Republican opposed it, and then they filibustered it. Okay? And this was 4 years ago, guys. All right? This was years ago. You know what I mean? This was fucking unreal. Let's see what 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗶𝗆𝗆 says here.
Well, hopefully she won't, but odds are that is what's going to happen once everyone does eventually have to come home, whether that is tomorrow or it's in December, and they can hide out that long. And this isn't about populations coming in and out of blue states. It's about the fact that 𝗣𝗢𝗏 can afford to do this. And when they went to D.C. a few years ago, they ran out of money. 𝗣𝗢𝗏's never running out of money, and he's got a bunch of Hyatt hotels, and they can each have a suite, and they can hang out there for as long as they need to. But the idea that people are watching this happen, or at least people who vote like I do or have similar values, to me, are seeing this just as people running away from their job is ludicrous. What they are seeing is the fact that Donald Trump called up Greg Abbott, and redistricting is supposed to happen once every 10 years.
Yes, redistricting would happen in 2021, right? There's a census in 2020. In 2021, there will be redistricting. All right, census in 2030, 2031, there will be redistricting. But this is what is happening, is in the middle of the decade, okay? Trump calls up Greg Abbott and says, I want you to redistrict your state so we can squeeze extra seats so we don't lose the House. So they're doing a mid-decade, okay? Mid-decade redistricting, right? Nobody else is doing this. Nobody would do this. Nobody's ever done this. I had somebody in the replies or whatever who said, well, you didn't complain when Illinois redistricted in 2021. And it's like, of course not, dumbass. Everybody redistricted in 2021. And then they went into effect in 2022. It's right after the census, numbnuts. Like, of course, that's when you redistrict. But nobody does this in the middle of a decade exclusively to peel off 5 seats. Like, they're not redistricting to make their maps fair or reflect the population. No, they're there to make them less reflect the population. By the way, thank you, Pendulous. Right? They're there to make them less reflective of the actual population of Texas, and they're there specifically to steal seats for Trump to try and help him win the House. Now, I say, if they do this, if they actually get away with it, then fuck it. the blue states will redistrict and get 30 seats. And fuck you, right? No more clowning around with these bootlickers, right? You want no more tit for tat. We're going to get like the biggest pair of tits out there for your fucking tat, boss. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get triple E's, right? You bring tat, we're getting tit, right? No more, bro.
That's when the census happens. He's saying, I want a mid-cycle redistrict because I only have a three-seat majority, and I need a bigger cushion. So get me 5 more seats. So Greg Abbott calls a special session, not about the flooding, not about what happened in Camp Mystic, but so that he can steal seats from Democrats so that Jazzy won't be able to have her seat any longer.
They're also trying to get rid of Jasmine Crockett, too. They're trying to make a district that she would lose her district. That's another big one, right? They're targeting a specific black woman representative that they're worried about how much power she has, how much clout she has. Dude, isn't that crazy?
Important to remind people that in 2021, there was a bill, the For the People Act, H.R. 1, and it would have banned all gerrymandering, and every single Democrat voted for it, and every single Republican voted against it. Republicans want it this way. They want to use this to their advantage, and of course, there are some states, if you can do it, why wouldn't you get as many seats as possible? But the way in which Abbott is going about this has made people, even like Eric Holder, who runs an organization that is fundamentally against this, change his tune, because the California proposal, and Newsom has been out front on this as well, only has this happen for a few years. So it will go back to normal cadence, and the independent commissions will come back into play. But if you don't fight fire with fire, what are we supposed to do? In a midterm, you're supposed to pick up seats, so we're supposed to just sit there and take it like this? That's why Hochul says that we are at war, and it looks that way to me, and I'm someone who doesn't usually argue for this kind of behavior.
Yeah, no, I say they want war. Let's bring fucking war. You know what I mean? The Republicans have been obstructing. They've been fucking cheating. They've been sneaking. They've been lying about elections. It's like, you motherfuckers want war? Let's bring them the war, dude. Right in the fucking face, bro. Let's just bring them the war and just fucking steamroll these dumb motherfuckers. I'm serious. Dude, I am serious. Right? Let's fucking go. Right? She has crazy recall. I'm sure 𝗙cie prepares for the show. Right? Some of it is recall. I'm sure she gets ready for these shows and she brings in her points. You know what I mean? These people don't just show up and pull this shit off the top of their head. They do come in prepared. But yes, she is on it. She's very, very good. Right? She's very, very good. But yeah, she's feisty, dude. I feel like she holds her own, though, in every situation, which is, like, really impressive. But, dude, we need to fucking, you know what I'm saying? We need to really, like I'm getting to the point, right? I'm getting to the point of where I don't want to play nice anymore. I want to play rough. I want to play fucking ferocious, and I want to play for keeps. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Dude, let's start passing some laws. No more religious no more quoting the Bible in any legislative session ever again in the country, right? Tax the churches, okay? Tax the wealthy. You know what I mean? Let's start bringing the heat, okay? Let's start bringing the fucking heat. You want to fuck around? We're fucking coming for you, all right? Expand the Supreme Court and pack that shit, right? Fuck you, boss. Dude, I'm serious. I am like pissed. I mean, they want to expand the power of the executive and give Trump all this shit. Fine, man. We're going to take that shit and we are going to shove fucking diversity down your fucking throat. And if you don't like it, we've got a hotel in El Salvador, all expenses paid, that we will be happy to fly you to, right? You know, even Trump loves it. It's called the Seacott Hotel, right? I hear it's great. It's great this time of year, right? They've got plenty of beds waiting, right? Very diverse culture there. Let's fucking go. Dude, I even said that You want to see something funny? Like, check this out. So in one of my replies, I did this where I said for reparations, watch this, dude. These people are freaking, dude. They're so mad because of this comment. Because somebody was talking about reparations. And what did I say? I said right here, because this guy was saying a black man said our country sweeps under the table the past wrongdoings. And Vivek, of course, is like trying to promote his answer. Oh, there's no racism. Look at this shit, though, dude. I'm like, reparations or we ship all of MAGA to El Salvador jails. We aren't fucking around with you bootlickers anymore. Dude, under Vivek's tweet, oh my God, you should see the replies, though. Dude, they're like fucking, dude, reparations on the Civil War. Right? They're like, fuck off. Dude, they're fucking, you will never get reparations. Dude, first off, I'm white. I wouldn't be getting them. Right? Oh, dude. Dude, this guy, they're fucking talking about sending them to Africa. Oh, shit. Dude, this guy's counting my likes for me. He actually called me out. Oh, dude. Dude, this is funny, bro. You go ahead and try, forehead. Dude, they're so funny. I mean, I knew this was going to get, dude, the reparations to the heroine. Dude, I knew they were going to fucking come for me, bro. Oh, shit. I know, dude. They're so triggered. They can't not fucking leave a fucking comment. Oh, get a job, you fucking loser. Oh, shit. Dude, they are like so triggered, bro. Oh, shit. Dude, he called me broke boy. Get a job. Suck socks. Buy a time machine and go. Bitch. Oh, suck socks. What does that even mean, bro? Oh, Lord, dude. Dude, this guy said an old flabby dork who streams to 0 viewers. Let's go. Oh, shit, dude. He got me in the middle of the double tug, I think, dude. That's a good screenshot. He must have fucking, he's watching hard, bro. Dude, a 17-year-old dumbass. They're so funny. Oh, shit, dude. Dude, dude, this is funny. This shit is funny, bro. They are so fucking tweaked, bro. Oh my God, dude. Dude, that's a lot of fucking comments, bro. You know what I'm saying? That is a lot of fucking comments. Oh, shit. Dude. Yeah, no, Mitchie, we're doing Cenk Weeger right now. Oh, Lord, dude. Dude, let's go. Dude, yeah, I'm officially, you ready? I'm officially changing DEI. The new equity and inclusion department is going to be called Fuck You MAGA. All right, that's it. We're keeping DEI, but we're changing the name from DEI to FYM. Right? Fuck You MAGA. That's going to be the new Department of Inclusion and Diversity. Oh, shit. Dude, did you see this shit, though? Like, they reversed it. But did you see how they fucking... did you see how they first came out saying they were going to deny... They were going to deny disaster relief to any state that boycotts any Israeli companies? Did you hear that? Even, dude, even like Matt Walsh was fucking, right? Even Matt Walsh was like saying, dude, where is it? Even Matt Walsh was like, there's just no way to reasonably claim that this qualifies as America first. Because that was the craziest shit, dude. And I guess they rescinded it a few hours later. But that's nuts. To say that no disaster relief if you fucking like Now they're telling the states who they can support and not support. Like, what the fuck, bro? What are we even doing, boss? Oh. All right, you guys ready? Who's ready for some Shenky Weeger?
Left-wing popular.
Jesus. All right. So here we go. Shenky Weeger. All right. Jubilee. We're about to get copy struck. All right. Doesn't matter. We're doing it for the game. We're charging this one to the game, guys. All right. We ready? Dude, an hour and 44 minutes? I don't know if I can do this. Who do we got in here, dude? Let's see who we got. We got Z. Okay, we recognize the Z person. Somebody's name is White Privilege. Yikes. All right, I'm really important. I know that guy. That's one of the fucking one of the more normal guys, probably the most normal guy on here. So it's 20 Democrats and Republicans. Yikes. Can we watch any part without Shenk? Dude, we got to have Shenky. All right, you ready? All right, Shenky Weeger. Here we go. We're going to Weeger the Weegs, boss. You ready? Let's get into it.
You say, don't try it. Go back to the establishment Democrats. Are you crazy?
You can't vote Democrat and then say that, well, because they still support the rich and the rich still get all the tax cuts, I'm still going to cash.
Oh, shit.
Really happy to have
Dude, what am I doing, bro?
Left-wing populism. You say, don't try it. Go back to the establishment Democrats. Are you crazy?
You can't vote Democrat and then say that, well, because they still support the rich and the rich still get all the tax cuts, I'm still going to cast my vote, which is the most powerful political weapon you have, to the very establishment that you're on one hand trying to tear down.
That's just weird to mention guardrails against firing people when you rejected a union at your company and fired somebody for organizing.
Yeah, that is absolutely not true. You can say that if you like.
That is true. Look it up.
Fine. So since you smeared me, let's explain. Hi, I'm Cenk. I'm host of the Young Turks, live weekdays, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube.
Dude, he is the least charismatic human being on the fucking planet of this earth, right? Oh, Lordy.
Also the head of the TYT network. I'm also founder of Just Democrats Wolfpack and Rebellion Pack, where we're trying to bring the country together. And here I am surrounded by 20 Democrats and Republicans, and I'm going to try to bring them together.
So if you guys want to know about the union thing, okay, you guys, if you want to know about the union, go to Hank, okay? Hank Thompson, right here. All right, just go to Hank Thompson and search about TYT Union, okay? You can find out all the shit there. Hank was the 100% covering all that stuff, and they're like, he's got the fucking... He's got all the receipts, okay? If you go in here, he's got all the receipts. You can go in. He's got many, many tweets, okay? If you literally, right? Because Hank helped start the union at TYT, okay? And so just search TYT Union on Hank Thompson's. I'll put the link in again, and there it is for you guys. He's the guy who started it at TYT. So you want to know the whole story. You want to know, like, everything that went down with that. Hank's got all the receipts. He's a super fucking cool guy. Okay, he is. He's like a good dude. He's a good fucking dude. I mean, he's got tellthetruthcenk.com, bro. All right? So, yeah, highly fucking recommend. Tell the Truth, Cenk is a union-busting documentary. All right? It's good shit, bro. All right? Good shit. So yes, because I imagine Cenk Weeger likes to rewrite history the same way he tries to rewrite everything else, right? You know what I'm saying? The same way that he rewrote his, like, run for president or his incredible 6% of the vote he got in Antelope Valley, California, running for fucking, what's her name, Katie Hill's seat after she was forced to resign due to the, you know, her sexual behavior scandal. Dude, I don't think Katie Hill should have had to resign. Who cares how you have sex, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, seriously. I mean, I guess she was kind of like having a relationship with the staffer, which is a little weird. But like, men do that shit all the time, and they don't resign. So, I don't see why the women should have to. You know? You don't recall the scandal? Katie Hill from California? Oh, yeah. Right? She was, it was her. This is the seat that Cenk Uygur ran for. Okay? And her scandal was, was right here. Okay? She's bisexual. Okay? And, oh, right here. So in 2019, okay, the House Ethics Committee conducted an investigation into the allegation that Hill had an affair with her staffer, which would be in violation of House ethics reforms that were implemented in 2018 in response to the Me Too movement. So it was like the Me Too shit happened. They made a bill, and then she was like the first victim of it. She cooperated with the ethics investigation. She was dating a woman, okay? She sent an email to constituents in which she admitted to an inappropriate relationship with a campaign staffer before she was a member of Congress. So this is what's so weird about it, though, okay? Is what ended up happening was Katie Hill went into Congress. The Me Too movement happened. Congress passed this resolution, but then they pinged her for something that happened before she was in Congress. And she had a relationship with a 22-year-old woman from her campaign, right? And so then she resigned, all right? But they were hunting her during the Trump admin. It was like, dude, which is crazy because Trump is like the biggest degenerate fucking fucker on the planet, right? But she gets booted. It was so bad faith. It was such bullshit, dude. It was such fucking bullshit. And she was rad too, man. She was like so good. She was so good. You know what I mean? She was really, really good. All right, you guys ready? You guys ready for some Shenky Weeger? I'm ready, dude. I'm ready for Shenky Weeger. I don't know if we'll make it through the whole thing, but we'll watch as much as we can stomach.
Claim number one is that Democrats and Republicans agree on economic issues and try to divide us and distract us with culture wars.
How are you, Cenk? Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
My name's Oliver.
Hey, Oliver.
Yeah. So I guess the first place I want to start off with your claim is to first say that I think there's a grain of truth in it. And I think I would largely agree that when it comes to the system of neoliberalism, the system of capitalism, I think there can be a lot of overlap. I think where I would probably push back a little bit is when we look specifically at what policy issues get passed and how they affect people, there seems to be a very big difference. So for example, under the Biden administration, we saw with the expansion of the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid, we saw over 8 million people become eligible for Medicaid who were previously not eligible. If we contrast that right now with what's in Trump's big, beautiful bill, over a 10-year period, that would make between 15 and 16 million people ineligible for Medicaid. So it seems on a crucial economic issue that affects people's ability to, survive, have quality health care, live quality lives. There seems to be a stark contrast. So I'm just wondering your thoughts on that.
So where I would disagree is the word stark. So I understand there is a contrast. That's why I vote Democrat. Mm-hmm. But these are giant buts here. So first of all, they say on Medicare, we should negotiate drug prices. The Democrats say, and then they never deliver. They didn't even try to negotiate drug prices other than on insulin and maybe 10 other drugs. And you go, well, that's pretty good. No, that's 10.
Dude, but it's a fucking start, Cenk Weeger, right? See, like, look at that. Dude, they deliver on a couple of drugs to start. You have to start somewhere. But he's like, they didn't do enough. They didn't do enough. Right? Oh, they didn't do enough. Hey, MAGA hasn't done shit. You got to give MAGA a chance. Right? Give MAGA a chance. Come on.
drugs out of tens of thousands of drugs. At a maximum, it's only a $6 billion savings, when in reality, what we actually would do if we negotiated the drug prices is several $100 billion in savings. So what I'm saying to you is, while the Democrats do some things that are positive, they do it almost as a release valve. So they go, okay, here's another example that you mentioned, the Affordable Care Act. You know what it was called before it was called Obamacare?
You can enlighten me.
Yeah.
The Romney was a plan that was tried in a Republican state.
Exactly. It was called Romney Care.
Yeah.
And you know who came out with it? The Heritage Foundation, the same people who came out with Project 2025.
Okay.
That is a corporate release valve so that people don't build up too much pressure and go to a rebellion or a revolution. But in the bottom line is, that was a tiny, tiny little fix thought of by a right-wing think tank. And then now when you say negotiate drug prices, Obama never did it, even though he ran an ad called Belly where he said he was going to do it. Biden does at most 6% of it.
Dude, Cenk is like, dude, it's weird because you'll notice, even here, I got to pause it right there, because one of the things I noticed though is notice how his primary focus is literally on the Democrats, right? On the Democrats not doing enough. That's his, like, 100% of his focus, right? Democrats not doing enough. Let me tell you, the Democrats are not doing enough. Obamacare is a heritage foundation, right? Which it's not. There's expanded Medicaid in the states, okay? So there are plenty of states that with Obamacare, we have state-funded health insurance. Oregon has it. California did it. Many states made it available to do. Okay, they're like Obamacare with the expansion opportunities to Medicaid is far greater than what Romney Care was, and it has allowed many states to have like national, like full universal health care for people who make like $45,000 or less. Okay. So it actually is a good program. My kid had it the entire time growing up, full dental, full vision. It was like super helpful. Okay. And was it perfect? No, but it kept a lot of people alive. A lot of people with pre-existing conditions are still alive today because of that fucking bill, right? And Cenk Uygur, or people who have kids with disabilities, my God, their kids are still alive today. And because of that bill. So it was not perfect, but it was fucking a breakthrough that helped millions and millions of people. And again, though, he will like harsh and denigrate and attack and ruthlessly hold the Democrats like to the T responsible for every little failure. You only went 70. You didn't go 100. You only did 85. You didn't do 100. But he doesn't do that with MAGA. He's like, you got to give him a chance. You got to listen to him. You got to give him time to come around. They're really like, they're really populist at heart. Like, I know that it looks like they'll never do anything with us, but if we just like acquiesce to some of their culture wars and throw the trans people under the bus and pretend like racism doesn't exist and make women have babies again, if we do all that, I swear they're going to like our populist stuff. Right? That's how he treats MAGA. But man, when it comes to the Democrats, dude, he will never give them an ounce of credit. You know what I mean? Like the insulin, dude, negotiating the price of insulin is huge, guys. That was huge. And Trump came right in and fucking started sacking those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, come on, man. He is a scoundrel. Because ultimately, his entire worldview is about the Democrats are terrible and they're really not worth voting for more than the Republicans, which is the type of like angle that gets more Republicans elected, which gives Cenk Uygur bigger tax cuts. You got to remember, this guy used to be a Republican. So every time the Democrats lose, this former Republican makes more money. Every time the Democrats lose, this motherfucker and his company make more money, this former Republican. Don't you forget it. Shenky Weeger, oh, we're on to you, you little fucker. Come on.
The Democrats are constantly doing 5 to 10% as a little release valve, but keep the machine going exactly as it is.
And we can totally agree that there should be more that's done. I guess maybe I was taking your claim too literally, which is that Democrats and Republicans agree on economic issues. And maybe there's a qualify in there. Is it largely agree? Is it mainly agree?
It's definitely large. Yeah, it's not 100% agree. Otherwise, it would be too obvious. But is it true that they largely agree? Of course. So I'll give you many other examples. Paid family leaves at 84%. Yet the Democrats never seem to be able to pass it. Why do they never pass it? Because they're not trying. They said they do the public option. Joe Biden didn't even announce them, introduce the public.
Dude, to be fair, like Joe Manchin and 𝗙ście 𝗶𝗏𝗏 sank quite a few of the Democratic things. Now, you could say that the Democrats planted Joe Manchin and 𝗙ście 𝗶𝗏𝗏 and John Fetterman just... Right? They have these people run as progressives like Sinema and Fetterman who then get into office and become conservatives all of a sudden. Like, you think the Democrats plan that shit? I don't know. It feels more like the Republicans would plan that shit than the Democrats. Okay, have a conservative run as a progressive, and then they get in office and flip.
Why? Because they agree with Republicans.
Well, I don't think they agree with Republicans necessarily. I just think that sometimes it's hard to pass legislation in a bitterly divided Congress. Would you acknowledge that it's difficult very often in order to get things done? You don't. You don't.
See, that is the number one excuse Democrats use. Oh, golly gee, there was nothing we could do. And they sing, there was nothing we could do. There was nothing we could do. In reality, he didn't even try for the public option, Biden. He didn't introduce it. So that pulls at over 70%. Why not try?
Sure.
$15 minimum wage. The Republicans didn't take that out of the bill. Joe Biden took it out of the bill. You see those things where you can tell intent, and the intent is he actually agrees with the donor class and the Republicans. He doesn't want those things. If you can't pass a bill at 80,
dude, all he does is fucking not let people talk, dude. You know what I mean? His debate style is fucking right, dude. All he does is yell over people, dude. You know what I mean? It's not even a debate. It's like the fucking heavy guy just trying to fucking tackle everybody.
4%. Then are you saying the Democrats are the most incompetent politicians in history?
I'm not saying they're the most incompetent.
No, he's not making good points, Doubler, because like look at how the Republicans can't even get their own bills passed. They could barely get their tax cuts passed. It is hard to get legislation passed in Congress. Okay? It is not easy. It is not easy. And he's acting like it is. The guy who got 6% of the vote in Antelope Valley, okay? The guy who got 6% of the vote in his election is telling you how easy it is once you get in there. And it's like, no, it's not. It's about as hard getting a bill passed as it is getting into that fucking room. Okay, because there's always one or two people that don't want to upset the apple cart. There's big donors on both sides. There's political maneuvering where people try to fucking sandbag shit and sabotage, or they'll vote against things to get something for their state, because ultimately you have 435 people in Congress and they're each trying to get money for their states. The more money they get for their states and their state's projects, the better chance they have of getting reelected. So the whole thing is like deal making and people kind of like existing in this ether, trying to get what's best for their state, even if it fucks over the rest of the fucking, the union. Okay. And it's fundamentally because these representatives represent the district and not, the people at large. But what Seth here said, or somebody said it, right? Oh, it's Jack. So what you're noticing right now is Cenk Weeger, the minute he gets sort of kerfluffled, he just starts, I'm going to talk over you the whole time. I'm going to bombard you with shit. But I mean, if we did a live fact check, I think we would break down that not everything he says is totally accurate. Okay. You know what I mean? I mean, even his whole through ground here is to attack the party that's doing something because they're not doing enough. But meanwhile, he's not attacking the party that's doing nothing and actively trying to undo, right? Because obviously the Republicans come and undo every little bit the Democrats do accomplish. So that seems to be a bigger threat then okay, the Dems aren't doing enough, but we have this other party that's actively sabotaging the whole fucking thing. And you're focusing on the guys who aren't doing enough, right? And why is he doing that, though? The only reason he's doing it and arguing against the Democrats is because he's trying to make money for his rebellion PAC. He's trying to get political power in Congress. Okay, his whole game is everybody's bad except me. So therefore, like, let me become a political power. That's what he's doing, dude. He doesn't give a shit about the people. He union busted. He fired Franny for calling him a bitch. He won't meet up with Sam Cedar and people on his own side. He does not give two fucks about anybody except himself, his money, and his chance at getting some sort of political power. Because he has none. He wants to be a big-time political power. He wants to be like Donald Trump and control everybody. But he doesn't. Instead, he's taken 5 minutes to climb up a seat on the Dr. Phil show, and only to have Dr. Phil introduce him as YTY, or Charlie Kirk invites him to America PAC, where everybody just makes fun of him and laughs at him while he tells them Democrats are losers. Like he's a fucking guy in a clown suit, desperately wanting some power.
Party, and I'm also not saying they're perfect. I think that we risk running into an issue where we equate the two parties as being virtually the same, which leads people to not voting whatsoever.
Yes,
because they think the whole class is against them. And I
exactly what this guy just said. Yes,
in complete agreement with you that the two-party system is fundamentally broken, and that Democrats, in a lot of ways, have a lot of the same issues. I guess what I predominantly have an issue with is those who maybe don't take the time to have nuance in the discussion and just say, oh, they agree on economic issues and they only want to divide us on cultural issues.
Brother, so
I think
here's
that
the difference.
It's important to make that, because otherwise people stay home. They don't vote, and then we're in the situation that we're in right now when a lot of people don't end up voting.
No, but Oliver, so let me tell you my perspective on it. That's really important.
Okay.
So Democrats always say, hey, look, there's a 5 to 10% difference, so you should vote for us.
Okay.
But they don't quite say it that way. You understand that. I understand that.
Sure.
A lot of people here understand that. But
Marketing is a thing. And we can agree marketing is a thing.
No, but hold on. This is super important.
Okay.
But they tell the voters, we're going to make a big difference. We're going to do minimum wage. We're going to do public option. We're going to do paid family leave.
Yes.
And when they don't, people get disappointed and disappointed. And that leads them to not voting. That leads them to hating the Democratic Party.
Sure.
What I'm saying is go with populist left. That is the one thing that has not been tried.
Sure.
We would actually do the bills. We do the bills. Otherwise, then you're the same as the Republicans.
See, go with populist left. See, he just wants to fucking be, he wants it to be about him, right? This whole thing, his whole thing is like, let me be the political power.
Fair enough. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Oliver.
Oh, dude, I love her. The girl with the curly hair. I follow her on TikTok, dude. She's amazing. This girl right here.
Great to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Great to be speaking with you. I agree with your overall term here. I would say that at the end goal, they agree that economically, we all want the same things, right? But the way we get it is two completely different economical viewpoints. We have the left that tends to be more socialist and communist, and then we have the right that is more crony capitalist.
Okay.
The left wants to take your taxes and they want to distribute it the way they want.
Yeah.
The right wants you to keep your taxes right now.
Dude, the right like takes your taxes and gives it to all the rich people. What is he doing? They want you to keep your taxes. Yeah, that's why there's tariffs, right? That's why everything you buy now has a regressive tax on it. Like, what a fucking donkey. Hold on, guys. I'm setting a dance goal because I'm going to need to dance at some point tonight or I'm going to fucking blow a fucking gasket. Dude, we've watched 6 minutes of it. 6 minutes an hour because I can't keep quiet. All right, here we go. Dance party. Let's go, baby. The goal has been set. The die has been cast. What's her name on TikTok? It is the girl. Here, let me tell you what her name is. Her name is... it is... I think it's Z, right? Yeah, she was in the... We saw her, right? In the fucking... Yeah, it's right here. This girl, right? Z. We saw her name in there. Z runs campaigns is her TikTok. Z to the hill. Okay? Yeah, it is in the YouTube description. I mentioned it when we first fucking saw it. She's really good. She's super feisty, she's got great energy, man. Yeah, she's good. Good. All right, here we go.
They want you to keep your overtime taxes. They want you to keep your taxes on tips. So what is your...
Yeah, so first of all, brother, you got to stop saying socialism and communism. None of the
Why is that?
Because none of the Democratic politicians are in favor of that. They're actually...
They are. Bernie's quite literally socialist.
No. So he says he's a democratic socialist. Even he
Dude,
doesn't...
Bernie's quite literally socialist. Got it. Dude, they like these guys. Why is it that every Republican on the planet doesn't even know what fucking socialism or communism mean? They don't even know what these fucking words mean, bro.
Doesn't really go towards what you would consider socialism, because you're putting socialism and communism in the same bucket where they don't belong. None of them are in favor of ending corporations, ending capital, etc. In fact, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, their number one problem is that they're corporatists, not that they're socialists or communists.
No, they literally wanted to
do whatever corporate donors tell them to do.
They wanted to
That is
end
the exact
businesses over
opposite of
vaccine
communism.
mandates.
Yeah.
They wanted to end businesses over vaccine mandates. No, they didn't, you fucking donkey dick. Dude, they wanted to have vaccine mandates so millions of people didn't die. They weren't trying to end businesses. We had people dying. We had people like filling up the hospitals to where our entire healthcare system was in danger of collapse, which would have meant everybody on life support, everybody with cancer treatments, everybody with moderate illnesses that weren't COVID could have potentially died. All the people in the ICU. It's like, you dumb shit. There was a virus that they didn't know what was happening, and it was spreading like wildfire. 7 million people died. But more dangerous than the death were the people crashing the healthcare system. So then people that didn't have COVID were dying, and like, you don't want to crash your healthcare system. That's why they had vaccine mandates, man, because people refused to get the vaccine. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, my God, dude, what is going on? Like people are so like short-sighted. You know what I'm saying?
No, brother. No, but that's drug companies. They're doing the exact opposite of communism. They're saying corporate donors, we will do whatever you corporations want. So when you turn to the Republicans, it's the same thing as Oliver. They have a 5 to 10% release valve with Donald Trump now. He's pretending to be a populist. So he goes, oh my God.
Donald Trump isn't pretending, he is a populist.
Well,
he just won the popular vote, both left and right, moved in his direction.
Dude, he won the popular vote. He's a populist. Dude, what are we watching, bro? Somebody, like, please, I want to see a hook come out and yank this guy off the chair, dude. How does this guy get on a political debate, dude? Who fucking interviewed this guy? Like, one of the Jubilee executives, fucking 5th graders? What are we doing, bro? He is a populist. He won the popular vote. Dude, yeah, he didn't even win 50%, but, like, dude, that's not what a populist is. Oh my God.
So when you talk about that bill, the budget bill, that is not big or beautiful. Well, it is big, but it's definitely not beautiful. Sure. The majority of the tax cuts go, of course, as always, to the rich, right? But they put in a tiny release valve of, we'll help the middle class a little bit on tips and overtime. Whether that even stays in the bill is a different question.
How come every time a Republican's in
let me tell you a
office,
fact.
I make more money and I spend less on taxes?
Yeah, no, I'll tell you a fact. So what they do is they throw a little morsel at you, as Obama and Biden throw a little morsel on you for social policies, as we discussed earlier. But the overwhelming majority always goes to the rich. For example, in this bill, they're cutting Medicaid and SNAP by $1.1 trillion. Do you know how much is going to the people?
So first off, can we just pause? Because this guy said, every time a Republican's in office, I make more money and I have less taxes. How old do you think this guy is? Right? How old does this guy look? Like 30? Right? 30? You know what I'm saying? Is he about 30, 32? Which means 14 years he's been on his own, right? Even if he's 35, right? I'm thinking about 32, right? Which means 14 years he's been on his own. So who are the Republican presidents? There's been one Republican president, Donald Trump, and that was after Obama, right? After 8 years of Obama. He's had... You know what I mean? Oh, every time there's a Republican president, I make more money. But like, homie, you're lying. You haven't even, you're saying that, right, is your point. But like, we know for a fact that you've only lived through one Republican presidency, and you certainly didn't get a whole bunch of money back, okay? Like, I made more money under Joe Biden than I did under Donald Trump. That's facts, okay? Like, if you're making more than 500 grand, you probably make more, but he certainly wasn't living on his own during Bush. You know what I mean? During Bush, he was like 9 years old, bro. He was literally going to fucking judo lessons and right, and getting a back rub from his mommy when Bush was in office. You know, like, I mean, dude, something's going on here where the disingenuous nature of these arguers, right? This goes to a larger point that the right-wing people have a tendency to argue in a very disingenuous way, where they tell you a point that really isn't something they've experienced or seen or right. They'll argue about the heavy duty crime, but there's no crime where they live, right? They argue about the immigration invasion, but there's no people of color in their fucking towns, right? It's like they argue about the gender, but they don't know any trans or non-binary people. And it's like, you guys are fucking full of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Making above $500,000 a year in tax cuts, 1.1 trillion. Okay? So they're literally taking from the poorest people and giving it to the richest people.
Which is what the liberals have been doing forever. So what's the difference?
How are they doing? So no, brother, what I'm saying is you're actually proving my point. Democrats and Republicans constantly say that they have giant differences. Then what did the Republicans do? They do massive tax cuts for the rich. And then Obama, by the way, came in and actually made Bush's tax cuts permanent, which costs us even more than the original
Z
Bush
in there.
tax cuts.
I want to see Z in there.
So there's a lot of theater about how
dude, so the flags up are when they're like, get rid of this guy? Is that what the flags up are? Dude, I'm waiting for somebody that actually, like, you know what I mean? Like, this guy should be debating a fucking, like, an 8-year-old. Seriously, you should have an 8-year-old. I just saw the movie She Rides Shotgun. Good movie, by the way. The little girl in She Rides Shotgun should be debating him. He'd still lose, but at least it would be on his level, right? Dude, what the fuck?
Why but at the end of the day,
why do
the
me as
rich
a
always
business
get tax
owner
cuts.
save more money when
gonna
Republicans are in office? Why do me as a business owner continue to save money?
So you know why? So I'm a small business owner. So we save a little bit of money. The giant corporations save a ton of money.
Isn't it better if everybody saves money?
No, it's not. Because
why not?
Brother,
that makes no sense.
But dude, everybody doesn't save money. They're fuck nuts, right? Everybody doesn't save money. And what's more, you get hit with other fucking regressive shit, okay? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happens under Republicans is you save money with a little bit of measly little tax cut, right? But then the federal funding to your state gets cut. And so then what happens? Then your state has to raise taxes on gas, on other products. Your state increases their sales tax because now they can't pay for their fucking roads, right? And like, so this idea that just because you get, like, right now, they're going to give a little bit of tax cuts in the big bullshit bill, but then you're going to pay tariffs. You're going to pay like more for everything you buy because of the tariffs. So yeah, you save 6% here, but now you're paying 12% more in everything you buy. And it's like, and those taxes are regressive. Okay, a sales tax hits the poorest because you're paying the same amount of tax on every item that the wealthiest person is, right? Dude, this guy though, how come I make so much money that one time that there was a Republican president? I bet he didn't even make more money, right? That's the reality. I bet he didn't even make more. I bet what really happened is when the Republican president was in there, he just felt better. And so therefore, he didn't worry about money as much because he just assumed that all of his fucking needs were fucking taken care of, that there were going to be no brown-skinned people moving in next to him. So he was like, oh, I just feel so good right now. I have so much more money. Dude.
No, brother, it's easy to say, okay, then we shouldn't have any roads, bridges, cops, fire departments,
Nobody's
schools.
saying that. We just don't want our money going to foreign.
We shouldn't have any taxes.
We just don't want our money going to foreign countries.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
On drag events.
And by the way, that's another thing.
And spent on drag events, dude. Oh, Jesus, dude, this guy's got to go. On drag events, he said, dude, what a fucking clown, bro. Oh, my God, dude, this is what happens when low IQ encounters like fucking Facebook, right? On drag events.
My point. Republicans and Democrats always do whatever AIPAC tells them. So that is a foreign
that's
government.
a whole different argument.
No, it's not an
I
argument.
would
It's the
agree.
same
So-
argument. It's the donor class.
Thank you, Cenk.
Yeah.
My God, dude, the drag events, bro. Oh, shit, dude. Oh, Lord, bro. Drag events. Oh, please, get Z in there. Come on. Oh, she's waiting. All right, she's waiting.
Nice to meet you.
So when you talk about this concept of like a release valve, it seems like you're downplaying very relevant and very important differences that exist between the parties. So the Affordable Care Act, you understand that expanded coverage to like millions of people. More people got Medicaid, premiums were subsidized. Like, this is good policy. And I agree with you. Sometimes, in many cases, Democrats lack a spine. They don't push hard enough. But I think chalking that up to like, they're pretty much the same, there's just a little release valve difference is a little bit reductive.
Yeah, it's not at all reductive, and the Affordable Care Act is a perfect example of it. Okay. So you're right, it was better than the previous system because the previous system had pre-existing conditions, and you can get blocked for that, and the American people despise that. So it needed to be changed. Yeah. That is part of the reason why a right-wing think tank, Heritage Foundation, came up with Romney Care. It's a release valve. And it's a Republican idea. Then Mitt Romney took it and passed it in Massachusetts. That's why it's called Romney Care. Then Obama and Romney ran a campaign where they pretended to be on exact opposite ends of the spectrum with the same exact healthcare plan.
Pretended? This guy is like pretended? Dude, Cenk is like, he is basically trying to rewrite. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to rewrite reality, bro. You know what I mean? It is like, dude, just because a seed started with a Republican doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. You know what I mean? Like, believe me, the fucking Donald Trump tried restlessly, endlessly to gut this thing and remove it, not because it was the Heritage Foundation's favorite healthcare plan.
And literally the same exact healthcare plan.
Do you think the ACA is like a right-wing health insurance plan?
It was literally created by a right-wing think tank,
the
Heritage
Republicans
Foundation.
right now in Congress are trying to push a reconciliation bill that literally guts Medicaid when the ACA expanded Medicaid.
Yes. So they always move the goalposts. So what do? They bring in, okay, here's our release valve. Okay, now the American people are still mad. Of course they are, because, and here, let's talk
Dude,
about,
he's going to just sit there and use the release valve the whole time, dude. It's like, dude, it's so disappointing, this guy.
That happened. Obama said, oh yeah, we might do the public option, which would have been not universal health care, but a good step forward.
Right.
I was there. Young Turk's been around forever. And I was like, yes, you got to do the public option. Then Obama says publicly, oh, I guess we can't do the public option. Wink.
Well,
and they immediately took it out of the bill.
Right?
What's that?
That's because of Joe Lieberman, right? But 59 other Democrats would have voted for the public option.
Okay, see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that they always, hold on, they always have an excuse. So right now, under Biden, the excuse was, oh, we don't have enough senators. Oh, golly, gee.
That's how you pass
hold
laws,
on,
though.
the filibuster and the parliamentarian. And then under Obama, they had 60. They could pass anything they wanted. They're like, let's take a really, really long time with Romney Care. Oh, oops, we ran out of our 60. Things changed. Okay, now the Republicans are ignoring the parliamentarian when they're trying to pass this bill. So the Democrats keep finding excuses.
See, so I guess the thing about here's the thing I don't like is Cenk is making the claim that the Republicans got 60 senators in there, right? They asked for 60 senators, and then once they got 60 senators, they purposely chose one to be an obstructionist, to just, right? That's what he's doing. He's espousing like a conspiracy theory that the Democrats got 60 senators and then just purposely had one of them go against everything so they could be like, yeah, but like, then what's the point of getting the 60 if they're just purposely going against shit? It's like, no, it's like when you have 535 people in Congress, it's very unpredictable. You don't know how people are going to swing. The same way that, like, when war breaks out in the Middle East, you don't know who's going to take which side, right? You have a trans woman like Brianna Wu, who next thing you know, she's like anti-trans because of what happened in Israel, right? You know what I mean? Like, people get really fucking unpredictable, and they say that, like, you know, they're for something, and then they get cold feet, and then the people opt out, and this, that, and the other. But the fact that he is like basically saying that the Democrats scheme to not get shit done. That, like, they promise it, and then they purposely scheme to be like, oh, we're falling short, like they're all sitting in a room. There we go. Got to refresh the chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's actually fucking, like, making the claim. He's literally sort of making the claim that Democrats do this on purpose. And you know what's bad about this, guys? Here's what's bad about this. Hold on one sec here. So what is really bad about this, guys, is when you look at it, he's making the Democratic Party be even worse than the Republican Party, okay? Because what he's doing is he's saying, yeah, the Republicans don't do anything and they give money to the rich, but the Democrats purposely lie to people and purposely get their hopes up and then scheme to always fall a little bit short, okay? And I don't believe that is actually happening. I don't believe that. I believe the Democrats are a very diverse caucus, and so there's a lot more unpredictability. I mean, the Republicans are not diverse at all, and they have trouble passing shit, okay? They can't get anything together. But I think it's especially hard with the Democrats because, you know, if you have 60 senators, it only takes one of yours to be nervous about it. One of yours with the wrong donor, and you're kind of screwed. You know what I'm saying? And, like, dude, this is so problematic because he's actually saying the Democrats scheme and fail on purpose, which is like, if that were the case, that's like the evilest of the evil, to be lying and then scheming and failing on purpose. And I don't buy that. I mean, I know they do some shit politically. Like, obviously, they could have codified Roe, right? They could have codified Roe during Obama, but they didn't because they wanted to run on abortion rights, and they never thought it was going to get overturned. All right? The same way that Republicans won't pass, they won't pass any legislation for the border because they want to run on the border, okay? You know what I'm saying? There's definitely obstruction and politics playing, but I don't believe for a second that they set it up to have Joe Lieberman just like opt out to prevent us from getting public health care. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And I watched Joe Manchin, you know, with this fucking coal business and all this shit, like continually be a guy who would not let us, you know, get too far into clean energy and shit. And the Democrats didn't do that on purpose. It was just, he was better than having a Republican in that seat. And in some of those districts, like, who are they going to get? If it's not Joe Manchin, it's a Republican, and they'll get 0% of their shit. So sometimes they have to make do with the Joe Manchin and hope he does the right thing, you know? But then there's times where, you know, John McCain comes in and fucking thumbs down and fucking saved Obamacare. But Kyrsten Sinema comes in and thumbs down with her little curtsy and fucking sinks really good populist shit, you know? And like, but I'm just not buying that Democrats lie and fucking set up failure purposely.
Why did they take the public option out of the bill?
You think
Why
Obama
did they
didn't
never
want the
introduce
public
option back again? I don't think the Democrats want the public option at all.
When 59 senators said we'll vote yes on this, and Lieberman
That's
tanked
what I'm
that.
trying to tell you, brother. They don't mean it. So let me give you two examples.
Where are you getting that from?
Where am I getting it from?
If
Joe,
Lieberman
where am I
agreed, would
getting
we
it
not have
from?
gotten a
Number
public
one,
option?
the public option polls at over 70%. They didn't even try to pass it.
Sure, but with
Number two,
healthcare
when
policy-
Biden came into office, said he was going to do public option,
Yeah.
and then he lied, and he never once introduced
had,
it.
like, no
If he never
political
once
capital
introduced
compared
it-
to Obama.
Oh, now they don't have political capital. Golly gee,
These are the
constant
realities
excuses
of how
for,
you pass
oh my God,
legislation,
I can't.
Dude, see, look at that. You see how he's talking over this guy about like political capital, but it's like, Cenk Weeger, you know what political capital is because you have none. That's why when you ran in Katie Hill's district, you got 6% of the vote because you had none. Okay. You know what it's like to have no political capital. and to get nothing done, bro. Like, come on, Cenk Uygur. What are you talking about? Now, when you get into Congress, you think the political capital fucking just disappears, right? You think if you're in Congress, a brand new congressperson can get shit done like Nancy Pelosi can? Nah, bro. You know what I'm saying? Political capital takes fucking years, decades to acquire. It's levers of power, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude. You know what I mean? And so Galatian, the thing about if you look at why there's not Medicare for all, it's obvious, dude. It's obvious. It's not even necessarily about the Democrats. It is. It's about the Democrats and the Republicans, but it's about that our entire financial system is plugged into the healthcare system. Okay, so I think the current crop of people in Congress, even the ones who want Medicare for all, they don't know how to get it because they would have to unplug all of the health insurance companies. They would have to kill the hedge funds, right? Hedge funds and multinational fucking corporations are now all part of this health insurance complex that is a huge moneymaker. So like you can't really get Medicare for all right now without nuking some very wealthy industries. And so I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't want it, but I also know there's a whole bunch of people that don't even know, like, how do we get it, right? Like it should have been done 50 years ago before the healthcare companies were like sort of the backbone. You know what I mean? It's like there's a beast. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Like we have a beast now that is health insurance companies and healthcare companies and drug companies and hedge funds. And they are all like central pieces in our economy. And in order to get Medicare for all, we have to like tank a couple of them, probably the hedge funds and the health insurance industry. Now that's not that it can't be done, right? But I think it's hard because those two industries also pay for a whole bunch of like Congress people to be in office. So what we need is 250 people, 270 people like AOC that are not taking corporate dollars, that are funded only by small donors. It could be you. It could be some of your friends. It could be your uncle. It could be your girlfriend, right? And they own all the politicians, Galatian. It's not just Democrats. They own all the politicians, right? You know what I'm saying? Dude, why don't you get on the fucking Republicans? If we had 15 Republicans that would vote for Medicare for all, we'd have Medicare for all. You know what I mean? Or, right? And the insurance industry can be folded. Yeah, but it's not that simple, Seth. Because when you look at the insurance industry, that industry is making billions of dollars. And so when you have people and shareholders that are making hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, it's not even just the industries, it's their shareholders. There's going to be no public, you know what I mean? All those shareholders that are now getting like fucking stock dividends out the wazoo and getting dividend checks every fucking 3 months, they're going to lose all that shit, right? And then all of the retirement programs that bought health insurance stocks and all the hedge funds that are fucking invested in this, they're all going to lose that shit, okay? And not that we can't do it. It would be like a fucking gut punch and we'd have to figure out how to do it. But like I said, it needed to be done 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? It needed to be done through 50 years ago before, right? Here's what happened in a nutshell. In the 70s, we were ripe for it. The Democrats were ready to do it. Carter became president. They did not get along. Jimmy Carter was arrogant. The fucking people didn't like him. They fought. The Democrats sank all their legislation. And then Reagan came in and he deregulated everything, lowered the corporate tax rates. And that's when health insurance companies became behemoths, right? And companies started conglomerating with other companies. And after Reagan, it's like now the industries are out of control. You know what I mean? And you're right. It does need to be done. But again, guys, I'm just telling you, like the reality is we need some of you to be running. You know what I mean? Like we need some of you that believe we need to do it now. We can do it now. We need you guys running. We need people to run who aren't bought by the healthcare industry. And we need hundreds of them. We need people that aren't purchased by these companies to run for office. And if 1,000 run, 20 will win. You know what I mean? That's why I'm begging people. Like, if this is important to you, you live in Nebraska, run for office, right? Do it. Run for office, okay? We need a lot of people to run for office that aren't taking corporate money. And eventually some will break through. You know what I mean? And dude, it sucks because even with Kamala Harris, okay, Kamala Harris, she had a proposal, guys. She had a proposal to have the government argue for all drugs and to argue for disability and elder care, okay? Hospice and disability, you remember? It was part of her fucking plan. Kamala Harris was to have the federal government negotiate for elder care and to expand Medicaid to cover elder care. And I'm telling you right now, guys, that would have been a fucking shoehorn into Medicare for all. We need a shoehorn, okay? We need to have some way where the government has leverage to control pricing inside the healthcare system. That's the start. That's why negotiating drug prices was a start. Fucking like negotiating to cover disability care is a start. That's how it starts. It's like when you look at weed being legalized, okay? The way weed got legalized is they first made medical marijuana, okay? You need a shoehorn in there, right? You need to get a shoehorn. You need to get some way to sort of like, right? The first thing we need is we need the government with the power to negotiate healthcare costs. The minute we've established that, we can start moving towards government-funded healthcare. And that was an amazing policy by Harris. That was absolutely the first step towards, right? That's why they're gutting Medicaid, because the more they trim out Medicaid, the less power the government has in the healthcare industry, okay? And so it's like part of this requires incremental. It's like you got to get your hand on that lever of power. The government needs to have a lever of power inside the healthcare pricing system. You know what I'm saying? And then once you do that, you have like a shoehorn that allows you to get in there deeper. But dude, Kamala, man, she had some decent policies. But did he support Kamala Harris? No, he did not. Okay? He did not. You know what I mean? He did not.
The voters
It's
are
not I
sick
can't.
of I can.
It's not
Why
I
don't you
can't.
actually
It's more-
try?
it's more
So tell me
difficult.
why they're such losers. They
It's
can't
more-
pass paid family leave at
Listen,
84%.
I
Are they
agree with
losers
you on
or do they
policy.
actually secretly agree with the Republicans
Cenk.
and they don't want any of this because they're corporate donors?
I agree with you on policy. I want paid family leave. I want single payer health care. But this is not like super easy to pass. You're like, if they just all
Yes,
hold their
it is.
hands and
I
sing
can get it passed in
Kumbaya,
2 weeks.
we're going to get like
2
single
weeks.
payer.
Dude, Cenk Weeger said, I can get it passed in 2 weeks. Cenk said, I can get it passed in 2 weeks. Cenk, you couldn't even get into Congress, dude. What is he talking about? Dude, what the fuck, dude? Hold on. That deserves a tweet. Dude, what is he talking about, dude? Dude. Dude, dude, he's such a clown, dude. Dude, Cenk only passes gas. All right, on Blue Sky, dude, I'll do it on Blue Sky. Is he even on Blue Sky? Dude, is he fucking... Is he on Blue Sky? He's not even on Blue Sky, dude. Dude, why is he not on Blue Sky? That tells you everything about him, dude. All right, we'll revisit. But dude, what a fucking clown, bro.
Okay, so here's how you do it.
Dude,
guys, you see, you've been talking
look at
about
this guy.
Care.
2
But this
weeks.
is not like super easy to pass. You're like, if
Watch
they
his
just all
face.
hold their hand and
I
sing
can get it passed in
Kumbaya,
2 weeks.
we're gonna get like
2
single
weeks. Okay, so here's how you do it, guys. You see, you've been taught by mainstream
2
media
weeks.
and Democratic
2
politicians
weeks. Look
to
at
accept
Z.
failure. Oh my
Dude,
God, there's
look
nothing.
at Z, dude. Did you see Z laughing? Oh my God, bro. Watch her. Watch her. She's so good.
healthcare. But this is not like super easy to pass. You're like, if they just all
Yes,
hold
it
their
is.
hand and
I
sing
can get it passed in
Kumbaya,
2 weeks.
we're gonna get like
2
single
weeks. Okay, so here's how you do it, guys. You see, you've been taught by mainstream media and Democratic politicians
2
to
weeks.
accept failure. Oh my God, there's nothing we can do to pass it. There's nothing. Here's how what you do.
You can pass it, but it's
super
difficult.
easy.
It's not
listen,
easy.
Listen. Paid family leave is at 84. Why do I keep insisting on that? Because here's what you would do. You would introduce it, 74% of Republican voters want it. And then you would say, I dare you to vote against it. If you vote against it, you're voting against 84% of Americans and you will lose your next
They're for
election.
it
I will
nominally.
campaign against you. I will find a Republican to campaign against you.
No.
And then, but you say, no, God,
No,
don't
no.
even try. Don't
These-
even
these
try.
policies-
Oh, we have these giant
Hold on, hold on.
differences, but we never pass our bills.
say
We never
Republicans-
even try.
Hold on.
And who took out $15 minimum wage? Joe Biden took out $15 minimum wage. So they never
You say-
mean it, brother. When is it going to get through
Hold
to you
on.
that they don't
you
pass
say
it
that
for a
Republicans
reason?
agree with us. They agree nominally. I'll give you a great example of this. If you poll Republicans, should we cut Medicaid? They say no. When Medicaid's actually cut and you poll them, they're just cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. So like nominally, yes, everyone agrees universal health care is good. When you get into the nitty gritty of actual policy, it gets a lot more complicated. I agree, Democrats should fight much harder, use the bully pulpit, campaign on these issues, but the idea that they're willfully, purposefully sabotaging themselves, some of them sure, but this is not as easy as you're painting it out to be.
Okay, so number one on
Dude, first off, what was I gonna say? Dude, I had a thought, but now I can't remember.
minimum wage, we at the Young Turks fought for Bernie to put it back in and at least get a vote. Okay, it got a vote. And guess what happened? The 8 Democratic senators who were pretending to be in favor of it all of a sudden voted with the Republicans. They had more than enough to block it because the Democrats don't mean it. They always do rotating villains. So, brother, at what point are you going to
When you
say
have
the failure is on purpose and not, golly gee, they're the Washington Generals against the Harlem Globetrotters?
When you have slim majorities, paradigm shifting policy is just harder to pass.
But 60 is not a slim majority. You constantly
didn't
make
have 60.
excuses.
The
Obama had
$15
60,
minimum
and he
wage.
still didn't do it. If they could have 80 and you'd still find an
the
excuse.
ACA was massive legislation that he got with 60.
Yes,
60
beautiful
votes.
Romney Care from Heritage Foundation.
Dude, see, dude, Cenk is like, he's so disingenuous, bro. Right? You know what I'm saying? He's so disingenuous, dude. Jesus Christ, bro.
Nice meeting you, man.
Thank you, man.
How are you?
Hey there.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So you raised a very interesting point when you said that Democrats and Republicans agree essentially on the same issues and that they want to distract us with culture wars. The question that I would raise is, why are culture wars a distraction when they're such a vital issue? It's important to myself as a conservative, and I'm quite certain to every Democrat in this room. Issues like abortion, social justice, or things that affect us in ways that maybe some policies only benefit the rich. Why should we not focus on things that benefit Americans every day and that could affect women's bodies or gay people's right to get married or maintain the right?
Yeah. So I'm not saying that social issues are not important. That's why I vote Democrat instead of Republican, because I believe women should have the right to an abortion and many of the other things that are on the left. Okay. But at the same time, when you talk about trans sports, for example, do you know how many trans athletes there are in the NCAAs?
No, I don't.
10 out of 500,000 athletes. Okay. So for 10 people, we had this giant debate, and the far right were like, no, that's it. This is what the Democratic Party is all about. And the far left was like, yes, that is all we're about. And this is about vulnerable communities, and you have to protect them. So this is the hill we're going to die on. And we're going to talk about this nonstop, okay?
Dude, that guy behind Shenk Weeger, this guy is like all of us. Like, dude, this is exhausting to watch. Right? Because there's not really, you're right. There's not even a debate. There's just like Cenk Uygur telling you how everyone in politics is wrong and rigged and bad except me. Right? That's what he is. He is like Trumpier than Trump because he's like, the Democrats are bad. The fucking Republicans are bad. There's just Bernie and me. And that's it. Right? Everybody else is like rigging it, you know? And dude, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about this, here's the thing about it is like, I look at the trans situation like this, that the Republicans, like they rode that issue because it was something that they were to make, that allowed them to make large swaths of America fearful that their children were in danger. They do it with trans issues. They did it with gay issues. They do it with crime. They do it with whatever they can, right? Immigration. It's always about your kids are in danger and we're here to fucking protect you and the Democrats are going to hurt your kids, okay? And it's a fear tactic. But the problem is we can't let them continually use fear tactics like that to control the population. At some point, we have to take the fight, right? The same way that we did during segregation. Segregation was a fear tactic. They convinced people that you have to segregate the races because that other race was dangerous and they're going to hurt your kids. And eventually, you got to say, fuck you. Like, we're no longer going to be afraid of this and we're going to fucking, banish this fucking bullshit thing, this bullshit segregation tool, this bullshit divisive tool that you're using to pit people against one another. And like, you know, but Cenk Uygur says we just shouldn't worry about those issues. But yeah, you can say that, Shenk, because you're not trans, okay? If you were trans or your best friend was trans or your kid was trans or your uncle was trans, you would then have like, you know what I mean? Like, you may be fine, not worried about trans issues, but those 10 trans athletes in college, their whole life is centered around that. Their identity, their sport that they played their whole life. It's very important to them and their families. And you know what I'm saying? It's very important to all the other trans people that are fucking watching them and being like, am I going to not be able to fucking be normal? Am I not going to be able to use the bathroom? Am I going to be illegal in Texas because of their fucking identity fraud law? Like, come on, man. It's like no American left behind, okay? And that needs to be a core policy. Like, fuck you, bro. We're not going to let you, disallow people to have civil rights. And that doesn't mean that, you just, that still means that the people who are scared of trans sports and the people who aren't scared of trans sports can go in and negotiate how transgender people can be included in sports in a way that is fucking equitable, right? Because we should be, right? We should be, seeking equity in the sports world too, right? And yes, what Natalie says is very true because they use trans sports as we got to be wary of this trans sports. But then, remember how I talked about the shoehorn, right? Remember the shoehorn was they get medical marijuana and then marijuana's legal. Well, the trans sports is the shoehorn to you can't use the bathroom, you can't get hormones, you can't go to the doctor, you can't get therapy, you can't be trans and live, free, right? It's a fucking shoehorn, all right? It has nothing to do with sports because they don't care. It's not about those 10 athletes, You know what I mean? Let's go. Thank you, Les. Let's go, baby. Let's go big dubs, big dubs, big dubs. Dude, fucking shit pisses me off, bro. All right, we're 2 away. Dude, stay on his neck. Dude, I'm going to put my boot right on your neck, Chenky. But dude, this guy, though, is all of us. All
We
right.
have to protect them. So this is the hill we're going to die on. And we're going to talk about this nonstop, okay? But meanwhile, we're getting robbed every single administration.
Dude, but again, the Democrats have never said this is a hill we're going to die on. They've literally not even taken the fight, okay? And what's more, Cenk Uygur, if you are trans, it's got to be the hill you die on because you're literally going to fucking die if you don't have the rights to fucking healthcare and shit. You know what I mean? Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, fuck off. I don't know what your fucking deal is. Out of my chat, boss. Right? When you say that, nope, you can't fucking talk about how we can include trans people in sports. It's like, fuck you, boss. You know what I mean? You know, when Katie Ledecky was beating everybody in swimming by a mile, or Janet Evans was beating everyone in swimming by a mile, they didn't come in and say, wow, this woman is so fucking crazy talented. Like, we got to get rid of her. She's too good, right? Oh, I'm sorry. This male football player, right, is too good. So we got to not let really good football players play football anymore because they're too good. Like, come on, man. You know, you can figure it out. You can talk about like when they needed to start hormones. You can have like puberty rules or hormone levels. You can do testosterone levels. There are many, many ways to figure shit out. Okay. This idea that no, you just can't even look at the problem and sort it out. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Any problem can be sorted out. First off, sports just aren't fair in general. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know the straight people shouldn't be subjected to it. Like, straight has nothing to do with fucking transgender. There's transgender people that are straight. Like, this guy's a fucking moron, right? Fuck, and I'm sorry. Any transphobia in my chat, you get the boot. I don't fucking care. All right, we're gonna hit the dance. And then we're going to come back and watch more of this. You ready? We got to dance, dude. I have no time for transphobia. So don't fucking, if you're feeling it, don't say it in chat because you're going to be gone. All right? Just for the record. And I have no qualms. I'm not afraid of losing followers because of transphobia. It's like, I get it. If you look at sports and you're like, well, I don't know how that would work. I get that. But the point is we can have a discussion. Okay, we can have a discussion and figure out how we can sort that problem out. But if you really talk to people who are like freaks about the trans sports issue, at its root, they don't believe that trans people exist. Okay, they won't acknowledge that a trans woman is a type of woman. Okay, or a trans man is a type of man, albeit very different than a cisgendered woman. But they are still a type of woman. And if you get to know some, you'll fucking realize that. Okay? But they only see like there's one type of woman and there's one type of man. And if you deviate from that, right? If you use the phrase men and women's sports, you're not even talking about the real issue. Okay? You are talking about a Republican talking point that says trans people don't exist. Okay, that's what you're saying when you say men and women's sport. Nobody wants men competing in women's sports. Okay, people want transgender athletes to be able to compete in the gender that they actually are. It's real fucking simple. You know what I'm saying? And there can be many discussions around this. Again, it doesn't have to be there's not a singular fix. Right? It doesn't mean it needs to be unregulated. It doesn't mean there should be no rules around it. It should be equitable. Okay? Nobody wants it to where every person winning a fucking race is fucking, one type of person. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, if transgender people were competing in sports and no cisgendered people ever won or placed in a race again, you'd be like, okay, maybe there's something that's like going on here. But like, dude, the minute one transgender person won a race, they fucking exploded. It wasn't because no women had fucking ever won, no cisgendered women ever won again. It was literally one trans person won, and they were like, man, we got to do this. But they don't do that when one person dies of guns. They don't do it when one person goes homeless. They don't do it when one fucking white-collar criminal steals our retirement plans. You know what I mean? It's like, goddamn, bro, one fucking win. And they fucking set off a neutron bomb. And that's how you know it's bullshit, okay? It's not about fucking solving a problem. It's about that one trans person achieved something and they're like, we need to destroy the trans people. And fuck that. But now we dance, all right? Yeah, they do. They make it their whole lives. Dude, Riley Gaines' whole life is fucking transgender attack. That's all she does, dude. Her entire existence is about fucking anti-trans. You know what I mean? You know? All right, you ready? Let's go. Little deja vu. Whoa!
Let's go, baby! Now almost a bit holy, notion that I will make it out somehow. A little deja vu, I'm gonna get it right. A little time with you, and I can see it light.
Shit, baby. Oh, Lord. I have to catch my breath. Give me a sec.
Lightning of
that was spirited. All right. Fortunately, I have fast recovery. Thank you, OD. Oh. Let's go, baby. Estimate yourself. Then pure and sweet, I found it. Almost there. Sometimes stand still. Conversations.
Always get me into these situations again because I'm tempted.
I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with everything. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with everything but me. Let's go. Dude, such a good song, man. Dude, I write some good lyrics, bro. God damn, dude. I should have been a musician or something. Oh, shit. With everything. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. Everything but me. Yeah, 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 yeah. You, I love you. Yeah, 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 I love you. Woo! All right. Dude, now we go back to the video. Now I'm feeling warmed up, right? Oh, let's go. All right, let's see Shenky Weeger throw the fucking trans people under the bus. You ready? Here we go.
Same time, when you talk about trans sports, for example, do you know how many trans athletes there are in the NCAAs?
No, I don't.
10 out of 500,000 athletes. Okay. So for 10 people, we had this giant debate, and the far right were like, no, that's it. This is what the Democratic Party is all about. And the far left was like, yes, that is all we're about.
The far left was like, yes, that is what we're about. And it's like, no, that's not what the far left did. Okay? The far left did not say, no, we are all about trans rights. The far left just said, everybody's civil rights are important, man. And so, yeah, we should not like force 10 people to not be able to compete. We should fucking have a discussion about this. Okay? Dude, all about it. That's what the far left was like, nope. If those 10 trans athletes can't compete, like, that's it. Fuck it. Nothing else. Forget healthcare. Forget everything. We're all about the 10 NCAA athletes. Dude, nobody was like that. We were just like, God damn, bro. Why are there 500 bills in state houses across the country to affect 10 people? Isn't that a waste of legislative fucking energy? Couldn't we be passing bills for homeless, for guns, for wealth gap, for roads, for policing? Couldn't we repair 1,000 things about this country instead of having 500 bills about 10 fucking people? Like, no, we should protect 10 people from 500 fucking legislative bills. Yeah. I mean, if fucking any 10 people, if you took 10 of my neighbors and were trying to make it so they couldn't have health care, couldn't get medicine, couldn't go see a doctor, couldn't go see a therapist, couldn't fucking participate in normal society, you can goddamn well bet I would go out and fight with my 10 neighbors, bro. Like, why are you singling out my 10 neighbors to take their shit away, right? Nobody's taking your shit away. Fuck you, Cenk Weeger, you fucking clown. Jesus Christ, bro. You need to wake the fuck up, little man. Jesus. Seriously.
And this is about vulnerable communities, and you have to protect them. So this is the hill we're going to die on. And we're going to talk about this nonstop, okay? But meanwhile, we're getting robbed every single administration. Trillions of dollars in tax cuts under Republicans and under Obama. Tax cut after tax cut for rich, for the corporations, deregulation after deregulation. You know why they want to split us? They want you to fight left and right. They want you to look left and right. They don't want you to look up, okay?
Well, of course, having to look up is very vital, okay? My master always tells us to look up. That's why I wear the cross. But the point that I'm making is that social issues, in order to really, wouldn't it make sense to effectively mobilize people, you should start with things that can touch them every single day. Social issues impact children, women, men, all of us across all ages and across all ideologies. Shouldn't it be, for the American population whose average attention span is maybe 43 to 56 seconds at best, to influence them politically, would it be best to start with something like a social issue that would then raise their awareness to issues dealing with the rich and issues dealing with taxes? Why not?
Because that splits us. It splits us on purpose. Those don't unify. I say the exact opposite. Why don't you start on bills we all agree on that have over 70% popularity, like getting money out of politics, anti-war, lowering drug prices through Medicare. Instead, you get to social issues. Here, I'm from a vulnerable community. I'm from a Muslim background.
Dude, here he goes. He's from a vulnerable community. Dude, he was an atheist like 4 days ago. Now he's a Muslim again because they're talking about vulnerable communities. So he's like, I'm from a vulnerable community of the really extraordinarily rich, like non-practicing atheist Muslims that are fucking finally connected, like deeply connected to the top of the political commentary industry. That vulnerable group, dude. Shut the fuck up, Cenk Weeger.
Right? But if I told Democrats, I want you to focus only on Muslim rights, that'd be mental. Don't do that. I'm not saying don't care about Muslim rights.
Dude, nobody has said the Democrats should focus only on trans rights. Did he say master? He did. He was talking about God, right? About Jesus, God, his cross, right? His master is God.
I want you to care about that. I want everyone to have 100% same rights.
What I'm saying is, why
build credibility by actually delivering for all of the American people. We raised all of your wages. We brought down drug prices for everyone, for Republicans and Democrats.
But by your logic, that could undermine certain things, like going back in history for a second here, the civil rights movement, things like that, which were inherently social and economic issues in combination. Why not? My question is, why not work with both of those issues side by side? Why are you deliberately attempting to prioritize one over the other?
No. So what I'm saying to you, brother, is two things. Number one, you can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Of course.
So you don't have to give up Muslim rights. You don't have to give up civil rights. You don't have to stop worrying about that, etc. You can fight on that.
Nobody's going for Muslim rights, though, right? Like trans people can't go to the fucking doctor because of Republicans, Cenk Weeger. Trans people are going to die because of Republicans, okay? They need to be alive in order to benefit from any of your goddamn economic policies. Okay, you fucking stupid ass, dude. Jesus.
But don't forget, you're not supposed to hate the other side. They want you to hate the other side. Stop hating the other side. Fight on the issues you don't agree on. And then on the things you do agree on, stop listening to establishment Republicans and establishment Democrats that divide
and
you.
Start listening to me, Shenk Weeger.
So that you never realize, hey, why are most of the tax cuts going to the rich? Why are corporations getting every break? Why is it that in every bill, all of the subsidies go to oil companies, banks, etc.?
Listen to Cenk.
Unite on the things we agree on first.
But by your own logic, that does a disservice to the fact that it doesn't do a disservice. It acknowledges the fact that as you still vote Democrat, you are still in essence supporting the very systems that you're at the same time talking about tearing down. So it's a lot of double talk, is it not?
No, what I do
you
is
can't vote Democrat and then say that, well, because they still support the rich and the rich still get all the tax cuts, I'm still going to cast my vote, which is the most powerful political weapon you have, to the very establishment that you're on one hand trying to tear down.
That's why primaries are critical.
Dude.
If I want one thing for you guys all to think about is, you must vote in your primaries.
See, here's what we need to do. I'm going to one up because you do have to vote in primaries. But guys, there is one thing we can do in the Democratic Party that I believe could have a profound change. And I think it's doable, guys. And I've said this before, but I'm going to reiterate it now because we're all watching. There's 250 people here. But what we need to do is we need to pressure the DNC and Ken Martin and the DNC representatives for the Democrats to say in primaries, no super PACs. Okay? We're still going to use super PAC and big donor money in the general elections because we don't want to get our clocks cleaned by the Republicans. But in primaries, we can have our primaries with no super PAC funds, which allows you and me and little populist candidates to get elected and to not get bought out by AIPAC or by the health insurance industry, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Right? That's what we need to do, guys. If we can get the super PACs out of the primary, we can get more of the people's candidates. It's a great idea. And I think it's totally doable, right? If that's really all we really need to do for a start, right? And so we can have more fair primaries. You know, that way you won't have a situation where AIPAC comes in and fucking, you know what I'm saying? AIPAC comes in and like buy shit out. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? And what are we doing? I don't see the right. I don't even see his name in chat, you know? Yeah, there's no name in chat. All right. Someone told me to go fuck myself. All right. Well, we're allowed to get rid of somebody who fucking, right? I mean, there's that person's name's not in chat anywhere. There's nothing to check, right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you timed him out? Oh, he told me to go fuck myself? Dude, you just hide user. I mean, if somebody's like, whatever, if they're freaking out about like transgender rights or whatever, dude, they fucking, I don't care. Hide them, right? I don't need to listen to people who are going to fucking cry about shit. All right. But anyway, dude, told me to go fuck myself. Dude, I go fuck myself. I'll fuck myself after this fucking broadcast. Dude, let's go.
Because the mainstream media doesn't want you voting in the primaries because that's where you can make real change. So that's why they love it when you go, oh, well, if you don't vote for a Democrat, Trump's going to be in office and Trump's the boogeyman. And the Republicans will say likewise, right? So go vote in your primaries so you don't have to worry about Democrats or Republicans. You're still in the same party. But get rid of the bums who are for corporate donors who always serve donors and get people that you love on both economic issues and social issues. You don't have to give up one, but you have to insist on them representing you and not the donor class.
Very great conversation, brother.
Thank you,
Great
brother.
Conversation.
I don't know. I wasn't watching. I missed it.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm not going to disagree with you that in every case, Democrats don't go after the most radical economic policy. One example that
Not
I've heard,
radical. They all poll over 70%.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'm a Democrat myself. I agree with a lot of what you say. One example of what you said before is that Joe Biden wanted to cut the corporate or raise the corporate income tax to 28% instead of back to 35%. However, I think that one point to consider would be the fact that a lot of the times Democrats are having to clean up the mess that Republicans made. And when someone like Joe Biden only has 2 years of adequate Senate support, right, it's very difficult to argue that he should be pursuing farther left tactics when we're just trying to get a reconciliation bill passed that can be supported by Joe Manchin, right? The economy was completely destroyed in 2020 after COVID. It was completely destroyed in 2007 after Obama. So there has to be a little give there.
So on economic issues, what I'm telling you, brother, is that they're playing good cop, bad cop. On you, on all of us, okay? So the tax cuts is a perfect example. So you're right, Donald Trump takes it from 35 to 21. It's a massive corporate tax cut. That's on Trump, that's on the Republicans. Then Joe Biden says, well, I'm gonna fight that, and he gets a lot of votes to go fight that. And he says, I'm gonna bring it back up to 28%. I'm like, wait, it was at 35. So already he's conceding, yeah, I love corporate corporate tax cuts.
Yeah.
Hold on. Then he says, oh, well, Joe Manchin wants to make it 25. So golly gee, I don't have a choice, 25. Then did he fight for 25? No, he
So here's my thing about like whatever, and maybe I'm talking to some people who've been timed out or blocked, that you have to understand is like, I get to hide or block people for whatever reason. Okay. If I don't like the way people talk, if I don't like what they say, if I, you know what I'm saying? It's not a perfect world, but if I don't like your chats, I'm going to fucking hide you from the chat so I don't have to read your shit. And it's not always a right or wrong, you know? I mean, that's just the way it goes, right? You know what I'm saying? In particular with that other trans guy, the person that I did hide, is he said something about like the straight people, forcing the straight people with it or whatever. But like my thing to suggest is this, is if you don't fully support trans rights, just don't speak about it in chat. You know what I mean? That's my honest to goodness recommendation, right? If you don't fully support trans rights, you should not speak up in chat, because if you do, chances are you're going to get muted or you're going to get booted. And if that seems unfair to you, I don't fucking care. Like, human rights are really important to me. That includes trans people. That includes black people. If you started telling me you didn't think black people should be able to compete in sports because they were too good compared to the white guys, I'd fucking block you from my chat. Okay? So saying that trans people are too good and so therefore they shouldn't be allowed to compete, it's like, fuck you, right? Human rights are human rights. And I do die on that hill. And I don't care. And if you have a problem with that, you don't belong here. You don't belong talking here. This is a safe space. We have a lot of fucking transgender people in the community, and I'm not going to allow my chat to be with people saying I'm having like, I question your existence. Like, no, fuck you. You can go somewhere else where there's, go to some other fucking chat, right? But like, that, I'm very open about that. So don't cry about it. It's just, if you don't support trans rights fully, just don't fucking talk about it here. All right? Go talk about it in your own fucking stream. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's real simple. All right? Them's the rules. Are they fair? No. Are they reality? Yes. Thank you. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Human rights are human rights. See, it sounds a lot different though, doesn't it? When I say, yeah, you're going to ban black people from sports because some of them are really good. Right? Yeah, that would be weird, wouldn't it? Right? You banning people based on, right? Oh, yeah, that would be real fucking stupid, wouldn't it? But transgender shit, you start making that argument. Or we're going to ban blonde people, right? We're going to ban people over 6 feet tall from fucking competing in sports because the 6 feet tall people, right? If you're over 6 feet tall, you can't play basketball because, if you're over 7 feet tall, no basketball for you, because it gives you unfair advantage. Fuck off, right? Fuck off. Seriously, thank you.
Never introduced it. Never fought for 25. So you tell me, Joe Biden had 4 years and kept it at 21% and never even tried.
Well, realistically, he had 2 years to get a bill passed. It's the truth. At the end of the day, right, if Joe Manchin sticks it somewhere and he says, well, okay, maybe I'll let you have an expansion of the child tax credit, for example, if you keep it at 21. We don't know all the backdoor negotiations that happened between Joe Biden and Joe Manchin. At the end of the day, right, you can't have everything you want, whether you're Joe Manchin or Joe Biden.
Did you ever consider that they don't mean it? The reason that Joe Biden never tried to raise corporate taxes is because he doesn't want corporate taxes to go up. It was all a trick. It was all a game played on all of us.
No, I don't buy it.
No, I know. There was nothing they could do. That's why they didn't even bother trying. They never bothered trying on any of this. And you keep insisting,
Look.
well, good enough. I'll take my 5% change. Thank you, sir. May I have another, sir?
Dude, but Cenk said he votes Democratic, right? So, like, what is he doing? He's saying you're all shitty because you believe the politicians, but I'm going to go vote for the very politicians I tell you. Dude, what is he doing, dude? He's such a fucking clown, bro.
So please, for God's sake, wake up and unite to actually get economic policies that we love. The whole country wants.
You can say
except
that,
those corrupt politicians.
In West Virginia, Kamala Harris lost by 30 points, okay? If you put someone that is to the left of Kamala Harris on any economic issue, they're going to lose by that same margin.
You're totally wrong. Do you know
Really?
what percentage of Americans want to not?
Dude, you're totally wrong. So he thinks a fucking dude. I want to see Cenk Weeger run for governor of West Virginia, bro. Dude, Kamala Harris lost West Virginia by 30 points. And he said, dude, somebody left of her could win. You're totally wrong. Oh my God, dude.
Cut taxes on the rich, but raise taxes
Probably
on the rich.
all of them when you ask it that way.
Oh, no. What do you mean? On television, they constantly say, oh, cutting taxes is popular. Raising taxes is very unpopular. That's not true. Raising taxes on the rich polls at 76%. You would win West Virginia. You would win Kentucky if you ran on populist campaign. If you said, yes, I'm going to raise taxes.
Dude, why don't you do it, Cenk Weeger? You couldn't even win in California on your populist campaign, right? Cenk Weeger couldn't win a House seat in California in a Democratic fucking House seat, a progressive Democrat. Cenk Weeger couldn't win, okay? He couldn't win, dude, right? But he's saying you could win. He could now win in Kentucky and West Virginia. Oh, shit. Oh my God.
You're seeing it through. Yes, I'm going to give you lower drug prices. Yes, I'm going to give you higher wages. But the Democrats don't say that. They say, oh, I'm going to try a little bit, and then I'm not even going to introduce any of those bills. I don't think the lens that you're seeing it through is the lens that a lot of voters see it through when they're going to vote for people like Joe Manchin, people that will give us a Senate majority. Good talk, all right, thank you.
Surrounded is now a podcast, available wherever you listen. Search Surrounded.
Democrats don't want to pass their agenda. It's a marketing ploy, not a mission.
Dude, again, you'll notice every one of his points thus far has been focused on anti-Democrat. Have you noticed that? Dude, have you noticed that, like, wow, dude. Yeah, it was my employee's fault for sabotaging my campaign or by wanting a union. Have you noticed that it's like, again, it's the Democrats. Here we are again, Cenk Weeger, the progressive. And what is claim number 2? It's about shitting on Democrats. What was claim number 1? Shitting on Democrats. Claim number 3 is all Democrats are worse than MAGA Republicans. Claim number 4, Shenky Weeger's pee-pee is like 0.75 inches when fully engorged. Holy criminy, bro. Dude, it's hard to stomach this. Do you know what I'm saying? It really is. It is like super complicated stomaching this because he is so disingenuous. You know what I mean? Dude, he's like so disingenuous. He is, dude. I get it. 0.75 inch pee-pee will bring out the worst in you, boss. Right? It is rough to watch because it's not even entertaining. It's like he is like a one-trick pony, right? Yeah, no, but no super PACs in primaries. That I think we should negotiate for. Absolutely. But dude, his fucking right.
Hi, Zena. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Zena.
Awesome. So I think that we largely agree, like kind of others have said. I just like want a little clarity on understanding how Democrats like water down their social issues, things like DEI and other measures to kind of bridge the gap that we've seen in like racial disparity, for example. How, in your worldview, do we reconcile such issues?
So in the beginning, did we need affirmative action? Definitely, because what happened before the civil rights movement was, so let's say that your firefighters or your longshoremen, those are really good jobs. They pay pretty well. They're good blue-collar jobs. What do you want to do? You want to pass it on to your kids because you're normal, right? That's the type of thing that you want to do. Yeah. But unfortunately, at that point, almost all the jobs are held by white people. So we do affirmative action because, guys, we got to let others in. Otherwise, it's not fair, right? And so that makes sense. But then over the course of decade after decade after decade, we wind up with DEI. And DEI has some good things in it, but it also had some abuses in it.
Dude, he's literally talking to a black woman. And he's about to lecture her about the abuses of DEI. Oh, Lord, have mercy, dude. He literally should be asking her, like, how can DEI be more functional is what he should do, right? Like, the abuses. Like, really, Shenky? Like, my God, dude, he has no idea what he's talking about. This man Dude, I'm literally like, the cringe level is so high right now. And I'm feeling like I'm going to pass out, dude, from cringe. I know, dude. The cringe level is like, dude, I'm going to have a cringe-gasm in a fucking minute here. Like, wow. He's going into the abuses of DEI. We now have the progressive thought leader arguing to a black woman about the abusive, the abuses of DEI. Oh, Lord, bro. Again, if the abuses aren't outweighing the benefits, there's no reason to be having this discussion. But here we go, dude. All right, I got to brace myself. I got to lower the cringe. Got to take a shot of eucalyptus. Dude, a cringe enema? It is. I thought that was a butt dagger, but it really was just a cringe enema coming in, dude. Fucking like a rocket, bro. Dude, that loading symbol. It's amazing. All right, here we go. Here we go. You ready? All right.
And so that makes sense. But then over the course of decade after decade after decade, we wind up with DEI. And DEI has some good things in it, but it also had some abuses in it. We covered it on the Young Turks. There'd be situations where a white woman would say, okay, now can I tell you my perspective? And they would say, no, shut up. Your job is to learn. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay.
So are you talking about like fringe cases in which like someone would say that they feel unfairly treated by DEI? Because I think in any type of law that we're going to see passed, we're going to see fringe cases in which the law is I guess manipulated in some case to negatively affect certain groups. But I think that we see like largely the effect on the black population is extremely substantial and extremely important. For example, we see that like I think there's a study done. I don't remember if it was 2015 or 2002, but it was a study done where they simulated a class-based DEI program instead of race. What we found was equally qualified black individuals were much less likely to be chosen on this class-based protocol. And we saw that like the protocol actually represented a lot less of the black population that exists in this country, whereas DEI ensures that we have a representative pool of applicants and admitted students in our colleges, which is extremely important.
So look, again, DEI and affirmative action had their role, had their place, and oftentimes
I'm saying that they have a role now.
So, but what it also does at the same time, though, is serves to divide us. And so, look.
No, it doesn't serve to divide us, Cenk Weeger. Like because racists have an issue with DEI, right? I mean, dude, desegregation. Sir, did that serve to divide us? You fucking dumbass. Like, dude, what the fuck is he doing, bro? It serves to divide us? No, it doesn't. DEI is really important, serves a purpose for people of color, for women, right? Absolutely. For people with disabilities, for people, of the non-dominant gender fucking identity. It serves to help all of them, right? And it's not divisive, but what happens is people who don't want equity for all human beings, they get upset by the existence of DEI. But here's what's funny, Cenk Weeger, is if you get rid of DEI, they're still fucking upset. Okay? They're not happy. They're not working with you on your populist fucking legislation. They're still upset. They just pick a different target. Okay? You get rid of DEI, they're going to go after gay marriage. You get rid of gay marriage, they'll go after interracial marriage. You get rid of interracial marriage, they're going to go after women in the workplace. They're going to go back to segregation. You know what I mean? They literally, like just because people are upset by social advancement doesn't mean you stop the social advancement. Because if you're worried about dividing us, you think we're not going to be divided? Were we divided before DEI when the KKK was running around burning crosses and lynching people? You stupid fuck. Like, give me a fucking break. You think the division was caused by DEI? There was a goddamn civil war, you stupid ass. Right? Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, oh, we're divided. Oh, so that means all they have to do is disagree with us and we throw all the people of color and all the fucking marginalized people under the bus. Fuck you, Cenk Weeger. You fucking dumbass. Like, god damn, bro. Dude. God damn, bro. What? Oh, my God.
If you say to me, hey, maybe Muslims have a disadvantage even if you take class into account, so should we give a little bit of extra weight to Muslim candidates? I would say Absolutely not.
Why not?
Do not do that. Because then what it does is it makes everyone bitter about the Muslim candidates.
Here's the problem.
And it makes them seem like they didn't
what I
earn
find
it
super important.
when in fact they did earn
So what
it.
you're explaining is the response to the policy, and you're not actually digging at the policy in of itself. You're saying because people will come out and be, racist or Islamophobic or whatever it might be because of a policy that is ensuring equality of opportunity, we should cancel the policy. But that is not a critique of the policy.
Yes!
It's a critique of the Republican or usually conservative response to said policy. So do you have a problem with the policy or the response?
So my point here is that this is among the different things that the Democrats do, where they say, "Hey, I think they're being performative." They say, "Oh, we're in favor of DEI." It might be performative,
but the output is important.
What the thing that would help African American community, Latino community, Muslim community, all those communities is actually raising the minimum wage,
But what we
lowering
find
drug
is that-
prices. But we never do the material help.
But see, again, dude, raising the minimum wage isn't going to help people if they're not getting hired in the first place, Cenk Weeger. Okay? Raising the minimum wage helps people who have the fucking jobs. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Or if you raise the minimum wage, who's going to get fired first? The black women are going to be the first ones to go, or the transgender employees, right? When they raise the minimum wage and they cut back on hours, who's going to be disproportionately affected by this shit, Cenk Weeger? Like, you don't realize that race is economics, okay? Gender is economics. He forgets this. You know what I'm saying? He forgets this.
We never do the things that equal things out economically.
You still haven't critiqued the policy in of itself. You're saying people will get angry if we come out and we promote these different metrics of
No,
helping
I am
people.
critiquing the policy.
So what
I'm
exactly
saying
about
that
the policy is
because
negative?
it divides us.
How does the policy divide?
Even though it has
by saying that racism exists?
Yeah. So
but racism,
no,
race
but not by
does
saying that
exist.
racism exists. So you have to acknowledge reality, right? What you're saying is now we're going to put black people in this category. We're going to put white people in this category.
Because there are categories that exist now at a subconscious level that we characterize each
So
other
even if
by.
you get a benefit from that, you say, hey, I reduced racism by 10%, 20%, et cetera. What you're doing is you're not noticing the giant downside of that, which is then people start to view each other as black, white,
We've
Asian,
always done
et
that. That's
cetera.
happening unconsciously all the time.
You're right, but what I would love is for us to stop doing that.
But you can stop doing that, Cenk Weeger, you fucking asshole. Because if you don't see her as a black woman, you're denying her fucking experience in the world, you dumb shit. Of course, Cenk Weeger, as a white man, says, we got to stop seeing color. We got to stop seeing gender. Yeah, you say that because you're in a fucking space where, like, your color and gender never gets seen, right? You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck is he talking about? You can't, if you don't see a black woman as a black woman, you are denying her experience in the world. If you don't see a trans man as a transgender man, you are denying his experience in the fucking world. You cannot be colorblind. A white man can be colorblind, right? Because you live in a colorblind world where nobody ever sees your color. If you fuck up, they don't go, oh man, we got to not let the white people in here anymore. We got to not let, there's the white on white crime. You know what I mean? You never experienced that shit. Or Muslim. He's not really a Muslim, but you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But you have to see it. And I mean, he's Turkish, but he's like a little bit white passing, which gives him some fucking benefits in American society, right? Anybody who's white passing has certain benefits in American society. You can ask mixed race people that are white passing and they notice a huge difference, right? Dude, this is crazy, though. Oh, my God.
Psychology,
stop looking at me as a Muslim and you as a black person.
As a Muslim, dude, you're not a Muslim, Cenk.
I want him to look at you as an American and me as an American.
If you want less racism and less racial categorizing, or us to see it as less of an initial categorization, studies show that we need to attack racism and race as a concept head on. We cannot ignore them or input race neutral policy into place. What we find is that characterizing race, saying what it is, is, saying what racism is, and thus, confronting ourselves with our biases is what limits them. So no, we can't say, oh, let's stop dividing people with the corrective policy. The corrective policy is helping something that has always existed, that's happening all the time.
So I told you I have an issue with the policy itself. I think it divides us.
You haven't explained it, though.
And do the Democrats actually pass their agenda? Even if they agreed with you, did they pass Voting Rights Act? They did not.
The problem is
You know why?
capitulating to right framework, which I think was what you're doing here when you said the response to DEI is going to be negative. The thing is, when
Dude, she just cooked him, bro. Who is she? Dude, how do we find out? I'm gonna look for her in the fucking in the thing, dude. Dude, she really cooked him. Something fierce, bro. She did. That was like, I love how she held him accountable to the fact of like, you haven't really said what you, right? She's like, you haven't really said what you fucking, what you're critical of in the policy, right? Zena, there she is. Zena Weena. There she is. Is that her? Yeah, that's her, right? Goddamn, dude, her hair looks fucking awesome, bro. All right, let's go. Dude, bada bing, let's go, baby. All right. Dude, yeah, so, dude, I like how she kept him on point and was like, you haven't really said what you dislike about the policy. It was like some fringe case of a woman who got upset, and he's like, dude, we need to get rid of DEI. And you know what else was funny, though, guys, that we do have to notice? Did you notice how at the end of this thing, after talking about DEI, him avoiding the question of what about the actual policy of DEI took offense with, and talking about the colorblind world, he returned to like, do Democrats carry out their agenda? Right? Did you see that? He like brought it back to like, the Democrats don't do any of their agenda. Why didn't they pass the Voting Rights Act? Dude, he just was like, I'm going to go back to like, the Democrats are horrible. I need to get out of this like race-seeing world. But again, guys, we can't be colorblind, okay? We can't. You have to see color. You have to see gender. You have to see that stuff in order to understand a person's experience, right? Yeah, quit asking for your rights, guys, because it divides people, right? If you ask for your rights, right? If they say that white people can't go outside anymore after 2 p.m., like, don't speak up about it, because you're going to divide people. You got to just fucking bend over and take it. You know what I mean? Dude, that is fucking crazy, man.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, this guy.
Good to meet you.
So Democrats don't want to pass their agenda. I would say they want to pass their agenda. It's just, if you ask 50 Democrats what their agenda is, you'd get 60 different answers. We've got the environmentalists who hate the labor people. The labor people hate the environmentalists. We have the gay rights lobby. We have racial justice people.
It's a diverse coalition, right? I mean, look at how much trouble the Republicans have when they all have the same ideas. The reality is, it is very true that the Democratic coalition is much, much more difficult.
We have all different people, immigration activists, like everybody thinks that their issue is the most important one. And I know you don't acknowledge that usually at the beginning of an administration, there's the maximum political capital. And if they don't get something in that time, then they weren't really trying. But what has happened in the past, we saw Biden pass a number of bills in those first 2 years. The CHIPS Act, the Inflation Reduction Act,
the PACT Act,
the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the American Rescue Plan. Obama passed the Affordable Care Act. We've passed all kinds of things, but we also all disagree on what the hell the Democrats should do. And that leads to the point where somebody is always frustrated in our coalition, because we are not just a big tent, we're a 3-ring circus ring. Like, we have such a big tent that's collapsing in on itself. Yeah. So this idea that we don't want to pass an agenda, the last point I'll make, because I'm taking up a lot of time, I would just look at the places where Democrats have all the power, like here in California. California, when you were growing up, I was growing up. I'm actually an 80-year-old man. That's why I got my Mr. Rogers sweater. It was smog here in LA. Like, you couldn't see 50 feet in front of your house.
Dude, when I was a kid, the smog was so bad, you couldn't fucking go outside during the summer. There were like smog alerts and shit. And you were locked in. It was like a haze. You couldn't see the fucking sun.
We created not just the most powerful environmental regulator in this country. CARB is the most powerful environmental regulator in the world. And that was Democrats that did that. So this idea that when Democrats have power, they don't actually know what to do with it is bogus. We've seen it here in California.
Dude, they've done so much, dude.
We've seen it in New York with free college. We've seen it in many states. So I just don't agree that we don't actually want to do anything.
Okay, so you mentioned about a dozen things there. Let me take two of them as an example. So the CHIPS Act that you mentioned, right? The Democrats told us when we were covering it live on the Young Turks, oh, this is such a monumental bill. It's so important. And I was like, okay, nobody's going to vote based on that. So put that aside, because that was definitely true, but okay, not pertinent to whether they were trying to do something that the Democratic voters wanted. So that they said that was for national security. Okay, there's some truth to that, right? And they said it was to, don't worry, this is to create more jobs. So now, what did they do? Very typical Democratic bill. They passed over $50 billion in corporate subsidies. The number one recipient was Intel, $8.5 billion in grants and $11 billion in loans. So about $20 billion overall. I said, for God's sake, at least put it in guardrails so they can't fire people. They said, oh, don't worry, Intel's going to create 10,000 jobs. You know what they did? They didn't put in the guardrails. And right afterwards, Intel fired 20,000 people.
That's just weird to mention guardrails against firing people when you rejected a union at your company and fired somebody for organizing.
Yeah, that is absolutely not true. You could say that if you like.
That is true. Look it up. There's a union now, but
yeah, you could look it up to a bunch of.
Dude, you ready? Dude. Look at it. Production and post-production crew at the Young Turks voted to unionize in 2020. According to a report in Politico, Cenk Weeger intensely pressured staffers not to unionize. Now, guys, again, here's Hank Thompson. Google TYT union. This is the guy who started the fucking union. All right, go read about it. He knows the stories of what happened, but all right, here we go. Hold on. Dude, I want to see this. Oh, shit. Here we go. Oh, shit.
And right afterwards, Intel fired 20,000 people.
That's just weird to mention guardrails against firing people when you rejected a union at your company and fired somebody for organizing.
Yeah, that is absolutely not true. You could say that if you like.
That is true. Look it up. There's a union now, but
yeah, you could look it up
it.
to a bunch of liars, but this is a random thing that you're throwing in there, I guess, to just personally attack me. But there is a union.
No, you mentioned
I'll tell
guardrails.
you facts. Do you want to explain facts? So facts are, yes, 𝗙𝗍𝗄𝗎 is at Young Turks. It's been at Young Turks for over 5 years.
Did you or did you not reject a card check?
Yeah, I did. And so, in fact, card check, yes, that is the one thing I disagree with in the PRO Act. And yes, you are allowed to disagree with one part of the bill or 5% of a bill, right? And so, in our case,
so
what
we can compromise and have
my
nuance?
personal dealings at Young Turks? Okay, fine, we can do
it. Dude! Oh my God! Dude, did you see what he did there? Oh, so we can compromise and have nuance? Oh shit, that's weird because you've just been telling us that there's no such thing. Hold on. Oh my God, I want to watch it again. I'm going to just let it go. I'm going to let him cook. I know I interrupted it, but like now I realize what we're doing.
Against firing people when you reject.
All right, here we go.
I said, for God's sake, at least put it in guardrails so they can't fire people. They said, oh, don't worry, Intel's going to create 10,000 jobs. You know what they did? They didn't put in the guardrails. And right afterwards, Intel fired 20,000 people.
That's just weird to mention guardrails against firing people when you rejected a union at your company and fired somebody for organizing.
Yeah, that is absolutely not true. You could say that if you like.
That is true. Look it up. There's a union now, but
yeah, you could look it up to a bunch of liars. But this is a random thing that you're throwing in there, I guess, to just personally attack me. But there is a union.
No,
I'll tell you facts. Do you want to explain facts? So facts are, yes, 𝗙𝗍𝗄𝗎 is at Young Turks. It's been at Young Turks for over 5 years.
Did you or did you not reject a card check?
Yeah, I did. And so, in fact, card check, yes, that is the one thing I disagree with in the PRO Act. And yes, you are allowed to disagree with one part of the bill or 5% of a bill, right? And so in our case,
so
what
we can compromise and have
my
nuance?
Personal dealings at Young Turks? Okay, fine, we can do it.
It's not personal, it's a public thing.
No, okay, no problem. Okay, but let me address it. Now you got into a weirdo thing that not about policy, not about the Democrats, but about my company. Fine. So since you smeared me, let's explain. So that people come in and go, okay, surprise, we didn't ask you for anything, but we formed a union. I go, guys, great, prove it. They say, oh, we had a secret vote. And then people come up to me, other employees.
That's what a card check is.
Hold on. Other employees come up to me and go, they're intimidating us. We didn't ask for this.
We're getting way off base here.
I know, because you brought us off base with a random attack against me.
Because you brought up guardrails.
Then
Let me just say one final thing.
Let me finish, because you're not going to smear me and not let me explain, okay? So then I said, since people felt intimidated, it's okay.
You felt intimidated.
No. How do you know? You're not even, you weren't there. You're just making stuff up.
Because you're the one that fought it.
So hold on.
You're the one that went to the NLRB and had to.
What the hell is this?
You don't want to shift the answer. You just want to filibuster.
Okay, let me answer. So then I said, for God's sake, just do a vote. No problem. We get a union the very next day. They did a vote and it passed, and they got a union immediately. Immediately, as soon as I was sure that all of our employees were not being intimidated or bullied, they instantly got a union, and we've had a union for 5 years. There's people who are like
in response to public pressure, but okay.
There are people who are making stuff up 24/7, and they keep telling people like you that we rejected a union when we didn't. We authorized it immediately as soon as we had a fair vote.
There's the guy who started it.
What you thought was, I thought we were arguing about.
Oh my God, dude, that guy was so good. Dude, did you see Cenk Weeger? You smeared me? Now, what's crazy about it is how is questioning your behavior during the unionization of your company, how is that smearing you? He didn't smear him. He said you voted, you like opposed the card check, right? You fucking didn't let them have the union initially. You fought it. You slowed it down. You called the NLRB, right? And he's like, you're smearing me. I did not hear a smear in there. You know what I'm saying? I did not hear a smear in there at all. But wow, dude, look at him, bro. Look at him. Dude, he's like doing transcendental meditation right now. My favorite part about that, though, was when the guy said, oh, you mean we can disagree and like have nuance, right? That was so funny because Cenk, though, his whole argument was how everybody has to agree, right? Everybody, it's easy to just get shit passed. Nobody disagrees. Nobody says anything bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they're all doing it on purpose. But then Cenk Weeger's like, wow, dude, even the union getting your fucking going in your company was not without a lot of fighting and stumbling blocks and all kinds of shit. Dude, you know what I'm saying? Oh, shit, dude.
Legalize comedy.
Dude, let's go. Oh, my God, that was good, dude. Oh, shit.
Good talking to you.
Not really, but okay.
Dude, not really, but okay. Did you hear that? He said, not really, but okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, my little fucking 2-inch ego is so fucking fragile. Now, like, oh, the minute I get cooked, now it's like, oh, it's not really good talking to you. I only have a good time when I talk over you and you don't challenge any of my ridiculous fucking points, dude. Oh, my God, he is butthurt, bro. Dude, see, at that point, the guy should be like, you know what, dude? Like, damn good job. Like, for me, I would be like, dude, you should go into political commentary. You know what I'm saying? Like, that guy was fucking holding his own. Like, oh, you got me there. Oh, shit. Oh, here he is. Oh, nice.
Hey, Cenk.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. I have a lot of respect for you, but I worry about your progressive populism is dangerous. In fact, to me, you kind of sound like a political pickup artist. Like, just do this one trick and we can fix it all. And to me, it's no different than what MAGA is doing with their faux populism, with the deep state, with undocumented immigrants.
It's demagoguery, yes. It's like, oh, everybody's wrong but me.
Someone to blame. You're just giving people corporate, corrupt Democrats or corporate media as an excuse. And I think you're just taking advantage of disaffected people and not showing them we got to get more involved. We got to invest more. We got to try harder and get good people in there.
Yes, he is. People are upset. Like he said, they're resentful because they're not getting policies and they're not getting shit they want. And Shenk comes in and says, yeah, man, nobody's there for you. Everybody's bad. Everybody's horrible. They're never going to do anything for you but donate to the Rebellion PAC or give me some money at TYT. I'm fighting for you. Like, he is an opportunist. Oh, my God, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking go, bro.
So you're saying that don't even try progressive populism. Just go along with the establishment Democrats because they know how to win. That's why they beat Donald Trump twice. Oh, right. They lost to Trump twice. They don't know anything. Their number one thing was, oh, we know how to win. They were liars. They didn't know how to win at all. They got clowned by a guy who's not that bright. Now, number two, oh, we have this giant agenda, $15 minimum wage, all the things that we've talked about throughout the day. Oh, golly gee, we just couldn't pass any of it. Oh, wow, okay. But hey, vote for an establishment Democrat. Don't get tricked by left-wing populism. Brother, do we actually ever try left-wing populism?
Yes.
Here's the three things we've tried. We've tried establishment Democrats, complete failures. We've tried establishment Republicans, complete failures. We tried fake populism under Donald Trump, complete failure.
I disagree.
So the only thing we haven't tried is left-wing populism. And you say, don't try it. Go back to the establishment Democrats. Go back to the donor class. Are you crazy? Let's try the one thing we didn't try. The Bernie Sanders wing.
Dude, Cenk Weeger took money from Polymarket, okay? He talks about corporate donor class. But like Cenk Weeger, your TYT is only here because you went to corporate donors. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, Cenk Weeger. You, AOC can talk about corporate donors. Bernie Sanders can talk about corporate donors. Cenk Weeger, Polymarket Studios, you do not get to talk about corporate donors because you're a corporate whore. All right? Like, come on, bro. The only reason your failing fucking YouTube channel isn't in the fucking dirt right now is because of a corporate fucking donor. Please.
Populism.
You say the American Rescue Plan that took half the kids in poverty out of it, millions of kids who go to bed hungry, is crumbs, is doing nothing? That is a big deal. What about the millions of people who have health insurance now because of the Affordable Care Act subsidies? No, you can call whatever you want, but the reality is millions of people have health insurance today because of what the Democrats did when they controlled the House, the Senate, and the White House in 2022 under the Inflation Reduction Act and the American Rescue Plan. I can't stand that you call it crumbs. People don't want their whole lives given to them. They just want a little breathing room like our big President Biden used to say.
So you say you're super happy with the 5 to 10% that the Democrats gave you.
It's not 5 to 10%.
There's two things here. Number one, I don't know what economic class you're in, but the average American is not happy with 5 to 10% change. They want giant change. They want the actual, by the way, the Democrat agenda is great.
We should note that in 2020, the people of Antelope Valley did not want the giant Cenk Weeger change. Okay, he ran for Congress, and in fact, nobody wanted the Cenk Weeger fucking change. Okay, just for the record. All right. Now, I'm not saying there's not somebody out there who wants it, because Anna seems to lap it up, right? And Charlie Kirk laps it up a little bit. Charlie Kirk would vote for him, not, right?
Our populist plank, the 6 most popular bills in the Democratic agenda, are super popular with independents and even with Republicans. But they never, ever do the most popular bills because they're economic bills. And you say that's good enough. But then why not try the entire agenda? Why not go with an economic populist like Bernie Sanders or Ro Khanna that's going to give you the whole agenda and actually try? Why give up ahead of time?
Those are great plans, and we should strive for them. But this is a giant country. We're the 3rd largest country in the world. We have a complicated democracy. We have to do things slowly. I know you don't like that. I know you want to get there, boom, boom, boom. But people do not want to abandon what they're used to. It sounds great on paper. Would you like single-payer health care where you save trillions of dollars and you pay less? Of course. But then when you show people how we get there, they're scared. They're nervous, and they have a right-wing media machine on overload that is scaring the hell out of people. That's what we're up against.
And Cenk Weeger comes in and says all the left-wing people are fucking terrible, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's complicated because I agree with him a little bit, and I disagree with him a little bit, because I think there are spots that people want radical change. They do, but they're also, though, the fact is people are afraid, okay? Everybody's afraid that change is going to mean they're going to lose something they do have. You know what I mean? But what I do like about him that I am giving him a little credit for is to act like the Democrats have done nothing. To act like the Democrats have done nothing is not is not accurate. You know what I'm saying? For him to say that the Democrats have done 5% more than the Republicans, that's not accurate. Okay? That's not accurate. Okay? That is not accurate. That's Cenk's selling point. And 𝗙𝗍𝗆, the thing about it is the scared part is not that M4A can't be paid for. Okay? The scared part is the fact that these massive health insurance companies that are public companies, that every teachers union, every police union, every firefighters union, every nurses union own stock in all of those healthcare companies and the pharmaceutical companies. So does Blackstone and BlackRock and Vanguard and every hedge fund. Okay. So to go in there and say, you know what, guys, all your stock is gone. All right. What do? Do we pay it all out? You just bankrupt all those companies and then you shift them into like government controlled companies. But like, dude, there's a lot of people that are making millions of dollars. There's a lot of IRAs and retirement accounts that are foundational pieces. Like, it's not as easy as you just flip a switch and we're M4A. We have to dismantle an entire fucking industry that is central to our financial structure. Right? We have to detonate a bomb to get M4A a little bit, or we have to do it over 40 years where you start like Kamala Harris, where the government negotiates for, elder care. And now the government is negotiating for healthcare prices and has a little bit of clout in there. And then you add on the drug prices, and then you add on a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And then eventually what happens is you're able to, then you have enough clout to start converting the industry. It's not a question of whether we can pay for it always. It's a question of how do you get there, right? Like, because sometimes you have to just cut the head of the snake off and let the snake die and then move across. You know what I'm saying? And the problem you have is leaders don't communicate how everything is paid for. I mean, it's hard. It's hard because there's always fighting, right? Like what essentially happens is the Democrats will say how it's paid for, and then the Republicans will say that's not going to pay for it. You're going to lose everything. And like, you know what I mean? And taxes is how it's paid for, but yeah, if you increase them, right? If you increase them. But what's crazy about it though is then you're dealing with the wealthy people who have all this clout that like they don't want to pay more taxes. They would rather pay that tax money for them to have the best health care possible and then not have to share it with you, right? They don't want to pay more taxes and have you get good health care. They want to pay the same amount of money they'd pay if they were paying taxes, but all that money goes to their health care and their health care alone. Right? Cutting the Pentagon's budget 1% would not pay for Medicare for all. Okay, the Pentagon's budget is like $1 trillion a year, and $1 trillion wouldn't pay for it would not pay for everybody's health care right now. $1 trillion? I mean, dude, you'd have to put serious fucking price controls on that. Like how much money? Right? In 2024, right? 5 trillion. Okay? Okay, that's 5 trillion. That's 5x the military budget. Now again though, there's an issue with that though, right? There's an issue with the fact is the issue is as you could lower the cost of healthcare though with governmental controls. But you have to dismantle some of the industry, right? Because those industries are out of control. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you have the high level people taking wealth out of the industry. Now, I don't know if this is accurate. I'm just using an AI number. But what I'm saying though is like there's healthcare spending that you can reduce the amount of spending by moderating the industry, right? But like right now, it's just capitalism out of control, right? And again, though, yeah, Galatian. But the thing is, though, is in order for healthcare costs to be much lower, all of the people getting wealthy right now for healthcare have to lose all their wealth. And that's the part you're not getting, guys, is you're fighting the wealthiest, most powerful people in the country who don't want to give up their wealth, and they have enough wealth to prevent you from taking any of their wealth. And then what they do is they scare everybody that you're going to lose all your shit, right? So, but again, you have to do it incremental. But my point about it is my point about this is you can be happy with incremental change and still be fighting for revolutionary change, okay? Cenk Uyghur's idea that if you don't get all, then you're doing nothing is he's literally being the way he says leftists are. He says leftists say, if no trans rights, then fuck you. No legislation of any kind. But Cenk Uyghur's like, dude, you only got healthcare for 20 million people? You only fed 40 million kids? Fuck you, bro. You haven't done the whole thing. You're shit. You're the same as the Republicans. And that's not accurate. Like, we can be happy with incremental change and appreciate what has been done and still fight for more, right? But Cenk Uyghur hasn't done shit, bro. What has he done? He fought a union, right? He fired everybody with talent on his network. What has he done other than go and kiss the ass of some MAGA people and tell everybody that Democrats are terrible and fucking drag every Democratic candidate, right? The only Democrat I've seen him support has been Bernie Sanders, right? And Bernie was an independent who ran under the Democrats. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I think you can fight for fucking radical change while still appreciating the change that has happened. I don't think you need to be all or nothing, you know? And if you do, Cenk Uyghur should start a third party and show us how it's done. You can get shit passed in 2 weeks. Okay, go start your third party then and fucking start your economic populism party and show us. Prove it. Go get us fucking Medicare for all. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, dude, I'm just saying he's like, I don't know, he's a little all or nothing.
This is reality, man. Welcome to it.
So Martin Luther King called this the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. So they tell you, don't worry, we'll do that.
See, the thing about 𝗏 though, guys, here's the thing about 𝗏 that is problematic. 𝗏 is, he says great things, he puts up great legislation, but he represents the wealthiest, one of the wealthiest districts in the entire fucking country. And he seems to create his mystique by providing them with nonstop, like, top level wealth while saying, you know, I really want to do all this other shit. But I don't know, man. You know, is he really? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I see him like propose shit, but I also, you know, see him like heavily tied to Silicon Valley. Yes, like heavily tied. And every time the Democrats lose, his district gets richer upon richer upon richer. You know, look at this though. Dude, look at this. I got to screenshot this, bro. This is like, dude, oh my God, dude. That is fucking money, bro. That's going on the thumbnail. Oh, Lord. Dude. You know? All right, here we go.
Tiny bit, and then when you elect us again, we'll do another tiny bit, and 200 years later, this will get done.
Millions of kids
hold on, let me
not
explain.
going to bed hungry is a tiny bit, Jane.
Let me explain
Really?
in the context of healthcare. They say we're for universal healthcare. You go, okay, great, let's do Medicare for all. Oh, no way, wait too long. Okay, no problem. Can we do public option? This debate goes all the way back to the Affordable Care Act. They go, oh, yeah, sure, we love the public option. Oh, golly, gee, we had to take the public option out. There was nothing we could do. Okay, Obama says he had to take it out because the drug companies Republicans were opposed to it. First of all, you're admitting that you're giving into the donor class. Then Joe Biden comes in and goes, how can we do public option?
We have
50-50.
We have 50-50 split Senate with guys like Joe Manchin and Ǩyrsten Sinema.
You know how you do it, brother? You know how you do it?
Get rid of the filibuster?
By trying.
They tried. They try every day.
No, but literally
you're not on the inside.
No,
you don't know.
You're stating a misstatement, okay? So Joe Biden never introduced the public option. If you never introduced the public option, by definition, you did not try. No. Second of all, how do you pass it? Oh, the Senate is split. Okay, you put pressure on. So can pressure work politically? Well, we know because Donald Trump did it to Republicans. Now, he did it for his own cause and for his own self-aggrandizement. But anytime a Republican crossed him in the first term, he said, we're going to eliminate Joe Wilson in South Carolina, and boom, he was eliminated. Now, imagine if you did that.
You want to bully our senators?
Yes, I do.
That's
Absolutely.
What you want to do? You want to threaten their lives? What do you want to do to them?
So can I explain?
Dude, he wants to be like Trump, right? He wants to bully and cajole and threaten and fucking, right? You know what I'm saying? He wants to fucking, you know what I mean? That's what he wants to do. I mean, I swear to you, the more you listen to Cenk Uygur, the more you realize that Cenk Uygur wants to be Donald Trump. He really does. He just wants to be Donald Trump, right? That's what I think he fucking wants, right? You know what I mean? That power trip. But so, Oak, the thing about that, though, is it doesn't get you results that way, Oak. What that does is that breeds corruption, okay? When you use that kind of power where you bully people and you force them into a vote and you breed that kind of resentment, you get power fucking, you know what I'm saying? You get fucking power, like have power issues, okay? There's nobody who does that kind of technique of bullying and getting results through twisting somebody's arm. That never leads to more democracy or more fucking like equity at all. What it leads to is it leads to a smaller and smaller faction of people having all the power and then being able to single-handedly do whatever the fuck they want. And it's not healthy, right? If you do that, you start bullying senators and like blackmailing them and shit to get legislation passed. And next thing you know, the people who get that legislation passed are going to be skimming money off the top, or they're going to be leading all the shit to their closest friends, even if they're not skilled, right? It's like you can't execute power that way and have it not be abusive. You know what I mean? And that's what's really complicated about it is like, you know, I mean, I don't know what the fix is other than more people that aren't corporate bought. I really think it's more regular people running for office, right? There are little things you can do like ending stock trading in Congress, because then wealthy people who get a lot of stock money are not going to want to go into Congress. You can do shit where you make the job of Congress less like amenable to wealthy people. And so those wealthy people, right? Like if you can't hold any stocks, your family can't hold any stocks, a lot of these wealthy Ivy League kids are not going to want to go into politics because they're going to be fucking broke at the end of it, right? If you can't come out and be a lobbyist, you can't fucking have any stock, that's going to change the playing field of what type of person runs for Congress. You know what I mean? I should apply for the show. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I'll get in there, right?
They represent their people.
No,
Joe
they
Manchin
don't.
represents his people. They sent him there. How do you know that?
Okay,
You're not from West Virginia.
Okay, hold on. They represent their donors.
So BS.
Okay.
It's an excuse.
Oh yeah,
it's
I know.
An excuse.
The donors
it's a
are non-existent.
It's
They're
a boogeyman.
non-existent.
More
millions
people,
of dollars given to Joe
More
Manchin. He doesn't
people
care about
donated
that.
to Kamala than
Do you know
outside
that
groups
Joe,
in this election
do you know,
cycle. It's a boogeyman, and you're wasting people's time with this.
Nonsense.
Yes.
Do you know that Joe Manchin and Ǩyrsten Sinema, after they voted against minimum wage increase, went to the National Restaurant Association and collected checks? They literally work for their donors. It is super literal. And what you're saying to people is ignore it.
No,
ignore the donors.
Disrespectful
Ignore
to
them.
everybody who sends money
It's
to those guys.
disrespectful to Joe Manchin, and I intend to disrespect Joe Manchin. I despise Joe Manchin. I despise those corporate Democrats who never ever deliver for you, who never even try to deliver for you. You know, here's what you say. Here's what you say.
Oh, Z got there. Oh, let's go.
So your claim is that Democrats don't want to pass their agenda. You've talked about $15 an hour minimum wage. So how can you explain then that Joe Biden did in fact increase to $15 an hour for federal contractors with an increase again this year to $17.75?
Yeah. So again, it's a release valve. So why?
How is that a release
Hold on. Yes, because it affects a tiny percentage of Americans.
It affects 300,000 people.
300,000 out of 330 million people. So that's why if you actually did federal minimum wage, moved it to $15, that would move $92 billion from corporations to the average American. Okay, so that's what we want. I assume you want it. I want it. All Democrats want it. It polls at around 67%. So what I'm saying to all of you guys is, please expect better of your politicians. So when they give you a 3%.
Yeah, but so what's crazy is Cenk Uygur is all for the increase in minimum wage. But what happened when California, when Gavin Newsom raised the fast food workers to $22 an hour, right? Did Cenk Uygur be like, good job, Gavin Newsom, raising the fast food wages in California? Did he? No. He did not give him any credit for that. Does he appreciate Gavin Newsom for having done that? Do him and Anna appreciate Gavin Newsom at all? No, they do not. Right? But he's arguing that like, you just did the federal workers no good. You got to do everybody. But like, dude, he doesn't support some of this shit in his own state. I find that really curious, right? Dude, it's really fucking curious. Dude, do we have a clip of him talking about the fast food wages in California? I would love to see Cenk Uygur. If we can find a clip of real quick before the end of the stream tonight of Cenk Uygur talking shit about the increased fast food wages in California, that would be golden for the video. All right? Because I have a feeling that he fucking was not a huge fan of Gavin Newsom doing that. And in fact, I wonder if he was worried about small businesses going out of business, right? I'm really curious about that. If anybody's got some research, let's fucking look into that, because that would be real intriguing.
She did federal minimum wage, moved it to $15. That would move $92 billion from corporations to the average American. Okay, so that's what we want. I assume you want it. I want it. All Democrats want it. It polls at around 67%. So what I'm saying to all of you guys is, please expect better of your politicians. So when they give you a 3%, oh, hey, look, I did it for 300,000 people. Hey, look, the drug prices, I lowered it on 10 drugs out of 10,000 drugs. Don't say that's good enough.
But
They're shielding. That's a shield so that you don't question them when they say, oh, I'm not going to do it for everyone.
You just said that all Democrats want to raise it to $15 an hour. That has not been your claim this entire time.
No, voters.
Yeah. Right. But Democratic politicians do too. If Joe Biden didn't want to do it, why did he increase it?
But
for
wait
federal contractors,
so
he didn't have the votes to pass it.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. So what he does is he does it for...
Yeah, no, what he does is he had the power to increase it for the federal workers through an executive order. Okay, Joe Biden tried to cancel student debt with an executive order, and Republicans killed it. He could write an executive order. He had the power to change it for all the people in the federal government, Cenk Uygur, right? He had the power, okay? Executive order, boom, it's done. It's a little more complicated with the whole country. Okay.
5% of people with student debt relief. He did it for 10% of people. He didn't do it for 90%. So in the case of the federal minimum wage, let me bring it back to you. Federal minimum wage. So he says, oh, progressives, don't worry. It's bare minimum. We're definitely going to do it. So they pass it in the House. They bring it to the Senate. Joe Biden does an interview during the Super Bowl right after he's elected. And he says, oh, we're taking $15 minimum wage out of the bill. The Republicans didn't take it out of the bill. Joe Biden took it out of the bill.
Trump did get rid of it on executive order.
Okay,
so now they don't have it at all.
Right.
So you're saying then that Trump, you're saying that Democrats and Republicans are both equal in terms of economics, right? How is that equal in terms of economics when Joe Biden raised it and then Trump took it away by executive order?
But wait a minute. But you're saying that even though he took it out, and then when Bernie put it back in, 8 Democratic senators, including the 2 Delaware senators that are the closest allies of Biden, voted against federal minimum wage being increased to $15. So can you not see that they're literally voting against it? They're literally taking it out of the bill. They're literally tricking you. They don't actually want to pass it. They get your vote by saying, oh, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And then the minute they get in office, they're like, I was just kidding, take it out of the bill.
What evidence do you have that Joe Biden actually did want those senators to vote against it? What evidence do you have?
Two pieces of evidence. Number one, it passed in the House, and I even talked to Democratic congressmen. They assured me, don't worry, it's going to pass in the Senate. It goes to the Senate, and it's out of the bill. Schumer made that decision in conjunction with Joe Biden. So why did Schumer and Biden take it out of the bill? That's my evidence.
So, Cenk, is your claim then that
And then secondly, by the way, when they did vote on it, his two biggest allies, both the Delaware senators, voted against the $15 minimum wage. That's overwhelming evidence. Do you think that they didn't ask Joe Biden?
Do you realize, though, he has not talked about Trump. Trump is president right now, and he has not talked about Trump at all. He has said that Democrats and Republicans are the same, and then he has argued against Democrats the whole fucking time. But he has not talked about right? He has not talked about fucking Republicans at all. You know what I'm saying? Oh, fuck, bro. Hold on. At all. Okay, so here we go. You ready? Let's see what we got. Let's watch them talk about the fast food workers.
State Senate in California has just passed a landmark bill that aims to give fast food workers in the state more of a say over their working conditions and how much they get paid for the work they do. Now, the final version of the legislation was unfortunately watered down a little bit as a result of corporate lobbying. We'll get to those details in just a moment. You don't want to miss them. But here are some of the concerns. Here is what the legislation will do. The number one concern is we need the governor of California, Gavin Newsom, to sign it into law. And unfortunately, there is reason to believe that he might veto it. Here's why. Newsom has not said whether he will sign the bill, but his Department of Finance argued against the legislation in a recent analysis, claiming it, quote, could lead to a fragmented regulatory and legal environment for employers and raise long-term costs across industries. Now, that last part is probably correct, because if you are forced to negotiate wages with your workers, likely you're gonna have to pay your workers a little more. So it would increase costs. But when you look at the profits that are made by fast food companies, they're gonna be they'll be fine, okay? Now, what will this do? According to Mary Kay Henry, who is the international president of the SEIU, she says it will give 550,000 fast food workers a chance to sit down with government and their employers to decide wages and working conditions.
Yeah,
I
her
cannot
voice,
overstate
dude,
how
they
significant
EQ it.
this is. It
Where's
sets the
Cenk in
standard
this?
for what states
All right,
and
here we go.
cities around
All right, let's see
get
what
into
we-
how
let's jump in
corporate
here.
lobbying watered it down just a little bit. I want to go to you, Cenk, because this is overall really, really good news. And despite corporate lobbying watering it down a little bit, the fact that this has passed the state legislature is a big deal. The question is, will Gavin Newsom sign it?
So what's frustrating is that Republicans get their politicians to do almost anything, right? Stop teaching actual history, pretend there was no racism in the country. Republican politicians go, yeah, great, love it, let's pass laws right away. Pretend that transgender kids in high school sports is the biggest issue in America. Republican politicians are like, right away, pass the law, sign it into effect, oppress people, etc. For Democrats, why do we have to beg Gavin Newsom to do something that's obvious? What, are you for the working class or aren't you? Why is this hard? Why is this complicated? With Gavin Newsom, everything is hard. You have to beg him, plead him. And then, by the way, you can't be too tough as your—
See, it's weird though. Like, I guess what's weird about this is Gavin Newsom did sign it, right? But what's weird about it is the bill passed, okay? And you know what I'm saying? The bill passed, but they're talking about how he's not going to sign it, right? Which is crazy because, like, you should wait and see. Like, if he doesn't sign it, then rail on him for not signing it. But I'm intrigued by the fact that they're like, oh, instead of celebrating the passing of this landmark legislation and like, you know, call the governor's office, let's fucking make sure this thing gets signed. They're like, whoa, right? They're like, Newsom's not going to sign it. Like, he's not going to sign it, man. And like, then he brings up the Republican culture war shit and talks about that. And like, man, the Republicans are so good. They get behind all their shit, right? I know, but the point is why did they have to assume that he's not going to sign it? You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that always the assumption? Because that's always the assumption with the Democrats, is that they're not going to do it. They're failures. They're bad, right? But simultaneously, he's like, the Democrats are fucking, they're doing it, or the Republicans are doing everything, you know? Because his finance department argued against it. Of course they did, right? They're worried about the impact it's going to have on the state. Of course they are, right? Of course they are. Of course, right? Before you make a huge change, like requiring every business in your fucking state to take a huge financial hit, of course you would like be hesitant about that and you would weigh that heavily, right? You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I mean? I mean, the point being, though, is they don't take this tack, okay? They don't take this tack with Trump, all right? Show me Cenk Weeger when he talks about MAGA. He doesn't say MAGA's never going to come to our side. MAGA's negative. You know what I'm saying? He says, no, give MAGA a chance. They'll come around. They'll come around. But if you're a Democrat, nope, you're going to fuck us. You're not going to come around. They're bad. They're bad. They're fucking negative, right? And I think it's important to notice that because that's what Cenk does, okay? He does not give that energy to MAGA. He doesn't say, well, MAGA has fucked us 100 times. Like, we should be distrustful of MAGA. He's like, no, man, I know they fucked us 100 times, but we agree on this one thing. They're going to come around. And I mean, if you don't see that, if you don't hold him accountable for that, then you're kind of as bullshit as he is, because that's his take always, man. It is his take always, right? Dude, he like, and I mean, that's the thing that's bothersome to me is I get it. Like, if Newsom doesn't sign it, rail on him, go after him, right? But the progressives should be like encouraging the win. And they should be discussing that and encouraging their audience to contact the governor's office and start advocating for this shit. But whenever the Democrats do anything, Cenk Weeger says, you know what, man? The Democrats just aren't going to do it. They're going to sink the shit. They're going to veto this shit. They never do good things for the people. And then he's like, he tells Jordan Newell, your selfishness of not believing in Trump is killing the Palestinian people. And it's like, really? Cenk? Like, come on, man. That's so disingenuous.
No, they called Joe Biden, and Joe Biden said vote against it because he was lying.
It's just not true. But also,
that is literally true, and anybody can look it up.
Are you claiming then that all Democrats that take corporate money are against the people? Is that your claim?
Absolutely,
okay,
yes.
So then why did TYT take $20 million of corporate money?
Here we go again with personal attacks.
It's not
okay, no problem.
Personal. No,
no
but
problem.
It's not
no problem. I want to
attack.
answer it. No
okay,
problem.
Please
Okay,
answer it.
yeah. So 20 million.
Dude! Oh, here we go with the personal attacks. Oh, but wait, we can attack all the Democratic positions? You know what I'm saying? We can attack all Democratic politicians, but we can't attack the head of a progressive news network. Dude, that was good. Again with the personal attacks. Dude, saying, why did you take 20 million from Polymarket? How is that a personal attack, boss? It's just asking you who are saying that no, taking corporate money is bad. We must ask you, well, why then do you take corporate money?
That's not, it's just not true. But
Oh,
also,
here we go. That is literally true, and anybody can look it up.
Are you claiming then that all Democrats that take corporate money are against the people? Is that your claim?
Absolutely,
okay,
yes.
so then why did TYT take $20 million of corporate money?
Here we go again with personal
Well,
attacks.
it's not
okay,
it's
no
not
problem.
Personal, no,
no
but
problem.
It's not
no problem. I want to
attack.
answer it. No
okay,
problem.
Please
Okay,
answer it.
yeah. So $20 million is an investment.
Okay.
It is not here. Take the money and you do, and then you do what we tell you to do. Everyone has. If you're building a business, you have to take investment to get to the next level.
Cenk, I built
hold
a
on.
business.
If you don't take the investment, you're going to be tiny. So what some leftists say is, no, don't ever build anything. Don't ever take an investment. Don't ever do anything and build a big business. So instead, let the right wing take not only investment money, but direct money like Dennis Prager did, $23 million, and take it from the fracking billionaires, all those guys, and serve those guys. Let the right wing grow and grow and grow. But as soon as there's a successful left wing channel, don't take an investment, don't take any money, just be super small so we can't compete with the right wing.
Cenk,
How does that make sense?
I'm pro you taking that investment. I've built a business. I understand that. I just think that it's ironic for you then to sit up here and say that everybody that takes corporate money is against the people, because then you would be against the people.
No, that doesn't make, that's apples and oranges.
Why is it apples and oranges?
I can explain
okay,
perfectly.
Please tell me.
So should corporations be allowed to exist? Absolutely.
Okay.
Should corporations be allowed to give money to our politicians so they control our government? Absolutely not. No way. So when a corporation does an investment, that's a perfectly logical and normal thing to do. When a corporation buys a politician and those politicians then vote with them, that is a terrible thing to do. I'm a capitalist. I believe in capitalism, but I believe in democratic capitalism where democracy checks capitalism. Otherwise, it becomes corporatism.
Dude, he is running so hard from this question, bro. Oh my God, dude.
Becomes a monster. But I don't want to defeat all the companies, and I certainly don't want to defeat left-wing media companies. That makes no sense at all. You see how it's apples and oranges?
I don't.
One is a company and the other one's a politician.
Okay.
One is normal business, the other one is to influence our government.
Let's talk about...
All right, dude, see the fucking, it's funny though, because if an independent media organization takes corporate money, he says he can take corporate money and then not influence his programming by taking corporate money. So by theory, then there's got to be some politicians out there that can take corporate money and not be influenced by that corporate money and use that corporate money to help the greater good of their state. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I mean, he literally renamed the fucking studio. Yes. He fucking said, hi, this is Polymarket Studios. And Polymarket, everyone knew, was a right-wing studio. And he did it during an election year. So literally just taking your progressive studio and naming it after a right-wing funded company, the same funding that's funding the Democrats' opponent, during a fucking election year. So every single time you have a broadcast, you remind your progressive audience that you are sponsored by the enemy. Like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I mean? Like, how do you fucking, I don't understand how he thinks that is exempt, right? That's crazy. How and what's funny though is the whole time he took Polymarket money, he was anti-Joe Biden, he was anti-Kamala Harris, he was anti every Democratic move that whole election. And Zik, everybody agrees we need to get money out of politics. Like everybody agrees. You know what I'm saying? Like absolutely. But the problem is with Citizens United, like, we have a long path, right? We really need to fucking chart the path. Like, we need some major Democratic wins in order to make that happen. But, like, Cenk Uygur is arguing, his whole debate here was arguing against the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying? And it's really hard. Like, how are the Democrats ever going to win enough seats to change Citizens United as long as a corporate-funded person like Cenk Uygur does nothing but say the Democrats are just as bad as the Republicans, right? And I mean, Citizens United is huge. And I don't think that's everything about our government, right? Like Citizens United is a huge problem. Huge problem. The churches are a little bit of a problem too, right? Like our tax structure is a problem. Our fucking, I don't know, our social climate where we defend billionaires and demonize the poor is a problem. Like we have some societal issues of how we see our fellow human beings, where like much of our society looks at everybody that needs help as though they're low quality, shitty human beings who aren't trying hard enough. And like, that's why they keep voting for sociopathic fucking dickhead politicians, you know? And one thing I can tell you from working the AA program is that, like, I found that by changing myself, I change my relationships, which means if I change who I am, right? Like my mom never changed, okay? My alcoholic, like shame fucking filled, you know, completely neurotic mom never changed. But I changed my relationship with my mom, and I kind of changed my mom a little bit by changing me and by me doing internal change that changed the way I operated in dynamic with her, which changed her a little bit. And so like I think we have to really start with a little bit of internal fucking, starting with it's possible to change, you know, and that's one of the things that really bothers me about Cenk Uygur at his core is his entire message is it's fucked. Nobody's on your side. Nobody but me knows the truth. And nothing that anybody has done thus far has been even good at all. They're all out to get you. The whole government is out to get you. And like, who's going to get involved when you have that message? Who's going to, right? Nobody's going to get involved if that's your predominant message, is that everything's a failure and nobody's working for you at all and the whole system is rigged against you and you're fucked. If that is your core message, that's not a message that says, yeah, I'm going to go get involved. That is a message that says, you know, what's the point? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? And you know, it's like we really need a message of like, I don't know, we need more gratitude. You know what I'm saying? We have more gratitude. You know, we need a little more gratitude and, you know, a belief that change is possible. And that's the thing that's kind of like heartbreaking about Trumpism is like all of the social change and all of like the seeking equity and all of the advancements for a better, more equitable country. Like Trumpism tries to come in and just tell you you're fucked. You're done. Woke is over. Like the fucking Christians are winning. Like we control everything. There's never going to be any fucking equity in this country. I'm killing it all. I have all the power. You're all right. It's like they try to inject that shit in us. And like, man, nah, dude, I'm not buying that shit. But I got to go make some videos. Dude, Les, you've been fucking go crazy tonight. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? All Cenk does is mute the Dem votes so we can't get the power and numbers we need to pass landmark legislation. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that, right? I mean, just this whole thing, right? It says one populace versus 20 Democrats and Republicans. And I've not seen him, right? When he was talking to the conservative black guy, he was still talking about the Democrats, right? Doomerism, great word, Jimmy. It's a great word. Yeah, but he talked nothing but the Democrats, guys. This whole outcome was all about the Democrats. Like, bro, that shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? But, dude. All right, guys. I'm going to go make some videos. I'm gonna go get copy struck by Jubilee. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go get, right? Cenk Weeger, who doesn't like the fucking corporate overlords, is doing a thing on Jubilee where all of us who make content from it are gonna get copy struck, so all the money goes to Jubilee, right? I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Right? He doesn't mind aligning with those fucking greedy ass corporations when it benefits him, right? Oh shit, it's time for edit mode, right? Oh shit. Dude. Is it ever good enough? My love, is it ever good enough? My love, is it ever good enough? My love, is it ever good enough? Guys, dude, tonight's been fun, actually. I'm a little exhausted. Cenk Weeger is a little exhausting. But, dude, Matt, let's go, baby! Dude, I love you, boss! Let's go, dude! I'll fucking take the $2, bro. We appreciate you. Let's go, baby. Every little bit helps. We go out with a little heart unbreaking. All right? There's a lot of heartbreak in the world, but I believe in heart unbreaking. It's a difference.
I just want to change the world.
Right?
I just want the
You gotta keep fighting. We are not doomed, guys.
I'd rather be found.
It gets better. I wonder, my pleasure. Together, everyone's waiting, anticipating. Let's go! I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. You're radiant. See you guys tomorrow.
Hey, I just want to change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down. I'd rather be found. It gets better.